From the Crescent City of the Old South, here's a big Happy New Year 1985 as ABC Sports presents from the Superdome in New Orleans, the matchup of Nebraska from the Big 8 Conference and LSU from the Southeastern Conference in the 51st playing of the Sugar Bowl football game. And on the night before the world takes a deep breath, stepping into the new year, we roll into the second half century for the Sugar Bowl football game, played annually here in New Orleans, Louisiana. It's normally a game matching the Southeastern Conference champions and a visiting team. This year, Florida was the SEC champion for the first time ever, but sanctioned from the Sugar Bowl by the conference for NCAA violations. LSU was the next in line, and so the Tigers are here for the first time since 1968 against the Big 8 co-champion Nebraska Cornhuskers. It is a festive night in the old city by the Big Muddy. It's been a rather festive weekend, as the Nebraska Cornhusker faithful have been able to go to a city other than Miami for a change, and they seem to have relished the change. LSU, of course, just located a few miles down the road in Baton Rouge, but have not come here in several years. Singing our national anthem tonight, Miss Wendy Hillhouse from Redwood City, California, the winner of this year's National Association of Teachers of Singing. She won the Artists Award. Wendy Hillhouse just won the award with a scholarship of $5,000. And she now stands in the Superdome to sing our national anthem with the combined bands of the University of Nebraska and Louisiana State. Wendy Hillhouse. Straightforward and very well done. And now, as the bands will make their move off the playing surface, the two teams make their entry, and here come the Cornhuskers from Nebraska. 9-2, fourth in the AP, fifth of the UPI poll. Upset by Syracuse 17-9 in their fourth game. Rebounded to beat a tough Oklahoma State team. Regained their #1 ranking, but then in the final game of the season, lost by 10 to Oklahoma. Coach Tom Osborne, 12 years, won 17, 27-2. And listen to this. All 12 of his teams have ranked in the top 10, and all 12 have had bowl bids. Not bad. Here are the Fighting Tigers. LSU, the Bayou Bengals, 8-2-1, ranked 11th and 12th in the AP and UPI polls. Fired Florida, the opener. Lost to Notre Dame and Mississippi State. Coach Bill Arnsparger's first year as a collegiate head coach after so many years in pro football. His first trip to the Sugar Bowl for LSU since 1968, where they beat Wyoming by a score of 20-13. Hello again, everybody. Keith Jackson along with Coach Frank Broyles, and a Happy New Year to all of you. There is no first place at stake in the ball game. It's the first time, actually, Frank, In 9 years, the outcome of this game has not had some kind of an impact on the national championship. As far as I'm concerned, number one's been in the bank for some time. It's BYU, the only Division I-A team to win 13 and lose none. So let's turn to what I think is an interesting matchup here in New Orleans tonight. The Cornhuskers of Nebraska and the Tigers of LSU.
These coaches have contrasting theories as how to win football games. The power of Nebraska versus the speed and finesse of LSU. Nebraska has a preference for running the football. They hammer away at you and let whatever happens take place. LSU, on the other hand, has the speed, finesse. They spread the defense out, and I think it has great promise for them to win this football game. By spreading Nebraska out, it forces them into individual maneuvers rather than the team effort. And one condition on this promise, Keith, quarterback Jeff Wickersham have a great ball game. If he can, LSU can give him trouble.
Now, I know that you feel that in order to keep your running game sharp and intact, you can't take a long layoff. But over the holiday period, after the regular season's over, you have to take a long layoff.
The toughest part of the game, the time, is the running game. It requires contact and scrimmage, and coaches are reluctant to scrimmage during these 30 days. They don't want to risk any injuries. So Nebraska could suffer the most in this, and I would just say if you look at bowl records, you will find that passing teams usually win, or passing does win the game most of the time.
Now, speaking of passing, it'll be interesting to watch tonight. Bill Arnsparger, you know, spent many, many years with the Miami Dolphins and Don Shula. His defensive philosophy at times is brilliant. In fact, some folks call it the textbook. He likes to force you inside, though, with your passing game. He will not give you the outer perimeter.
Well, the strength of the LSU defense is in their secondary. They've had 27 interceptions, and by playing this style and this scheme, their linebackers have intercepted 8 and their safety man 6. This is contrary to what anything that Nebraska has seen defensively. They'll have to materially alter their passing game if they're going to have any success, and that could be risky.
It's been a tough week for Tom Osborne, the head coach of the Nebraska Cornhuskers, for a rather untoward reason. For that story, let's join our colleague Tim Brent.
Keith, it has been a tough week for Tom Osborne, and I have to believe that some of the distractions caused by some very ugly accusations have filtered down to this ball club here at Nebraska. Now, Booker Brown is a former football player from Southern Cal, and he sent a notarized letter this week to members of the media here in New Orleans. And in there were accusations saying that Tom Osborne tried to entice him to the University of Nebraska 12 years ago with some illegal offers. Those offers, those allegations include cash, trips, and a few other things along the way. But the bottom line here is that both men submitted the polygraph test this week, and both passed. Now, Tom Osborne is respected throughout the college football fraternity because he's honest and he's candid. And we talked to him yesterday about this incident, and you'll hear some of those comments coming up at halftime. But there's two things he mentioned to us off camera that I think should be mentioned here. One is that he thinks this entire incident was a power play by Brown's agent Mike Trope to gain access to some of the Nebraska athletes. And second, yes, Tom Osborne is considering litigation. But the bottom line here is that his integrity has been challenged and his reputation has been threatened. It's going to be interesting now to see how his football players respond, because their minds have been on an awful lot this week other than LSU.
This ABC Sports Exclusive is being brought to you by Chevrolet, who invites you to see today's Chevy, drive today's Chevy, live today's Chevy. By U.S. Armed Forces, it's a great place to start. By Delta Airlines, 36,000 professionals serving more than 100 cities in the United States and overseas. Delta gets you there. And by Wang. Wang puts people in front of computers.
For this exercise, you need the right equipment. A Score candy bar. And 1. And 2. And... crunchy buttery toffee. Creamy milk chocolate. It's really rich. Look, everyone deserves to indulge themselves once in a while. And when you do, nothing satisfies you like Score. Of course, this exercise takes time to perfect. But think of all the fun you'll have practicing.
It's nasty out there. Some day to run. Suit looks good.
You still nervous about tomorrow?
Well, it is my first 10K run. I just hope I can do it.
Of course you can. You worked hard, ate right. Here, eat your Campbell's. It's good for you.
Campbell's Chicken Noodle Soup. It's nice when something that tastes so good can make you feel so good.
I'm surprised you're worried about finishing.
Finishing? I'm worried about winning.
Campbell's soup is good food.
Okay, this is it. It's going to be the good one. Everybody...
The Family Portrait.
Stand up and smile.
Well, it takes lots of flashes to get it right.
Come on, hurry, come on, the car's gonna be...
Lots and lots of flashes.
Everybody smile.
For your camera, of all leading battery brands, nothing outlasts the Energizer from Eveready. Nothing outflashes it. Nothing.
One more time.
The Energizer, energize for life.
Long life.
A little confusion can be fun, but not when you're looking at long-distance phone companies. Because all companies aren't the same, you have to watch out for the unexpected. No operator service and no service from many small towns. Different levels of transmission quality and no immediate credit for wrong numbers. Only one company comes with no surprises. AT&T. The more you hear, the better we sound.
Reach out and touch someone.
In the previous meetings between these two teams, Nebraska has won 3. There's been a tie, but not very many points difference between them over this series. And if you remember the last time in the Orange Bowl, it was a dandy. Incidentally, many of the LSU players were in that game at the Orange Bowl. Very few of the Nebraska players. Here is the kickoff by Dale Klein, with Nebraska having won the toss, electing to option the second half. And this is Gary James, averaging just over 23 yards per return. But this time the coverage by the Cornhuskers stopped him short of the 20. And LSU opens with Jeff Wickersham at quarterback, 195-pound junior. Dalton Hilliard is your multi-purpose back, 185-pound junior. Gary James, the other back, 200-pounder. He's a junior. Eric Martin, a brilliant wide receiver, 195, 6'1". Herman Fontenot, the flyer inside, 6'1" and 210. And you've got an LSU injury on the opening play of the ball game, the kickoff, and it looks like a knee. Down on the field, it is either 80 or 90. I guess it's 80. It's, oh boy, that's Rogie McGee, Frank. That's one of the speedsters, one of the primaries in the LSU pass receiving corps, but it is 90, not McGee. It is 90, Darren Marlborough. And I was trying to remember that I had not seen McGee previously in a kickoff return situation, so it is not him, it is Marlborough, and it looks like bad news for Darren as he's being helped off the field and he's dragging the left knee. The offensive front, Mitch Andrews, a pass-catching tight end, 235. Lance Smith, All-American, 275 at tackle. Langford at guard, 260. Tommy Campbell at center is 240 pounds. Kurt Gore, the guard, is 255. And the other tackle is John Harrell at 250 pounds. And so LSU, the home team, by the flip of the coin this year, goes up to the first snap of the ball at the 18, first down for the Tigers. Back goes Wickersham to throw, slips, keeps his knee off the ground, goes down the middle with a short pass to Hilliard, good out to about the 26. Wickersham tripping as he dropped off the snap and almost fell down for a considerable loss, but recovered and kept the knee off the ground and was able to complete the pass.
Wickersham, number 5, is just a junior. He holds and keeps his right. He caught himself with the left arm, otherwise his knee would have touched and it would have been a big loss.
Back he goes to throw again, sets up a screen out here to Fontenot, number 40. And Fontenot breaks it up to the 35 and picks up a first down. So on a second down and 3, they swing it out. It wasn't much of a screen, really, because there was only one man in front of him. There, the defensive alignment, in part, we'll get that thing fixed and show you in a moment or two. Still not working. But up front, defensively for Nebraska, you've got Weber, Spockman, Graber, Stuckey, and Strasburger. Linebackers are Munford and Daum. LSU now setting it up on first down from their own 35 with a eye back and a slot man, and Wickersham on a deep drop. With no pressure down the middle, the pass is caught to Eric Martin, and Martin is at the Nebraska 47 for a first down, brought down by Neil Harris. And so LSU is testing the Nebraska secondary in the first series.
Eric Martin, number 41, holds 5 LSU passing records, career and seasonal. He's already caught 47 this year, 52 last year, holds the Southeastern Conference record for most yardage in one season.
Dave Burke, Brett Clark, Mike McCashlin, and Neil Harris, the defensive secondary. And right now, LSU's got them spread out, and they got it first down. The ball is on the 47 of the Huskers. First real running play is Dalton Hilliard on a sweep to the outside. And he's got 5 yards as he breaks inside the 42, and Chad Depper, a linebacker, is in. And now the work begins on the knee of young Darrell Marlboro.
Well, we hope it's not serious. Don't believe that it is, Chief. They would have a doctor over there.
The freshman linebacker.
LSU has looked very sharp in these early goings from their one-back offense, similar to what Washington Redskins have used for the last 3 years.
Call it a 6-yard pickup, and 2nd down 4 from the 41. Double wide top, handoff to that lone remaining back. Dalton Hilliard hits to the 39 before he's brought down. He's a 185-pounder, but I think he runs bigger than that. Here's the rundown of the defensive people, visually now that we got that cranky machine working for you. It's a pretty good-sized defensive front, too, for Nebraska, and they depend a great deal on the 2 outside people to apply pressure, Weber and Strasburger.
Chief, that we should mention that Nebraska has 9 seniors, all of them returning starters from last year's team.
And it's the top-ranking defensive team in the country. 3rd down and 3 now as Rickerson throws a little pop that is incomplete. The ball was into the belt buckle of Roger McGee, but he was hit by Dennis Watkins as the ball arrived, and McGee could not put it away, and it pops out.
The basis of pass defense is you react on the ball once it's thrown. Ricochet fumbles, the ball's a little bit late, gives his defensive back a time to arrive at the receiver at the same time and knocks the ball loose, preventing a first down.
Not a whole lot of reason, though, for McGee not catching that ball, Rick.
He had his body protected between him and the defensive backs. Therefore, he should have protected the ball very diligently.
4-year career for Clay Parker is going to end at just under a 41-point average for his punting. And he'll be kicking it to a senior defensive back, Dave Burke. Burke standing back at the 10. Parker hits a tail dragger that turns over for him, but it turns over in the end zone, so obviously it'll come back to the 20. It was a 39-yard punt. He was trying to spin it into the corner and get the ball to go out of bounds somewhere near the goal line, but he couldn't accomplish it. So the Huskers will come out now with Craig Sundberg at quarterback. Jeff Smith will open at I-back. They're both seniors. Tom Rathman will be the fullback. He's a junior. Shane Swanson, the wingback. He is a senior. A lot of seniors going to be playing their final game today for Nebraska. Scott Kimball, a wide man at the split-end position. He is also a senior. From the 20, first down Huskers, and Sundberg pulls the trigger. Gives the ball to Smith, and 2 yards on the carry as Jeff Smith from Wichita, Kansas, bangs in there. Here are the big people now. Brian Hamer is the tight end, 6'3", 215. Tom Morrow at tackle, 260 pounds. Greg Orton at guard, 260. Mark Twainowitz, the center, 265. Harry Grimminger, the guard, is 265. And Mark Baining, the senior tackle, is on at 290, just a mere shadow. They're all seniors along the front. 2nd down and 8. He tried desperately to keep his knees off the ground, but he just couldn't do it. He tripped coming out of there. I don't know if he tripped on the carpet or tripped over his own feet or somebody else's. Hazard, Clapp, Wilson, Dubrock, Burks, Chapman, and Brooks. Now, these are the people that create the pressure for the LSU defense, with Gidry, Jefferson, Dale, and Hobley forming the secondary. But the linebackers for LSU are particularly active, and particularly so in the case of Brooks. And if he gets to line up without the tight end to oppose him, he gets a free ride into the backfield. It is 3rd down and about 14, and down the middle, the ball is thrown to the tight end, and Todd Frayne makes the catch up around the 23, well short of the first down, and so it brings on the kicking team.
Steve mentioned that the LSU linebackers are very active. They're excellent on pass defense. I mentioned earlier that as we look at Tom Osborne talking to his quarterback, Craig Sundberg, the LSU linebackers, Keith, have intercepted 8 passes. I don't know of any team in America I'm familiar with where the linebackers have intercepted that many.
Scott Livingston is in to punt. He's all Big 8 this past season with a 41.2 average on 49 punts. Gets it out of there, hits a good one, gets it to turn over, and that means it hangs longer, and a fair catch is called by Norman Jefferson, a sophomore, for LSU. And so the Bengals have the ball, first down at their own 28 on that 48-yard kick.
It's Chevrolet's New Year kickoff. Chevy dealers are kicking off the new year with their biggest and longest celebration ever. They're out to sell 175,000 cars and trucks by January 21st. Take delivery from a wide selection of Chevrolet's most popular cars and trucks by January 21st and make no monthly payments till spring with GMAC financing. And what's more, save up to $740 on specially equipped full-size pickups, up to $330 on celebrity sedans and wagons. Big savings, deferred payments at your Chevy dealers.
There's no better way to end a perfect day than to head for the best beer you can find.
Welcome to Miller Time.
At Miller High Life, we begin with nature's finest ingredients. Then we brew our beer so it contains no additives, no preservatives. So nothing comes between you and the taste of just pure beer.
Welcome to Miller Time.
The game is a sellout here in the Superdome in New Orleans. With home area LSU back in here for the first time since 1968. Of course, back in those days, they played at Old Tulane Stadium outdoors. Here's the handoff now to Gary James, the bigger of the touchdown twins of LSU, and he has broken it big. He's all the way down to the 33-yard line of Nebraska. Dave Burt finally brought him down.
Here's Gary James, number 33. Watch the block by 21, Hilliard, blocking for his partner right there. And watch the speed, 36-yard run. James runs a 4.340, completely outruns Levitt, Harris, and Penn Clark, the safety. Good block from his flanker. Shows a little move, head and shoulder. Finally gets knocked out of bounds by Burke, number 33.
And from the 38 of Nebraska, 38 it is, first down. Wickersham back to throw to the sideline. Pass caught by Eric Martin inside the 30, near the 28, and that's close to a first down.
Eric Martin, as we've already said, holds many LSU records. He was a running back, came here as a freshman, as a running back. Sophomore year, moved to receiver and has set many records, good hands, just runs precise routes, outstanding all Southeastern Conference. Here are some of the records that he's held at LSU.
And he will tear you up.
He can run with the ball after he catches it.
Second down and 1. Hilliard now coming in on a nice play is number 99, Ken Shedd. As Hilliard wanted to go to that side, but Dalton saw Shedd sitting there and tried to juke away from him. And Shedd would have none of it, and so he decks him for a yard loss, and it's third down and 2. And this young man has run himself already into the LSU record books. And I want to tell you, folks, there have been some great running backs at LSU over the years, as well as some great quarterbacks over the years. And Messrs. Hilliard and Wickersham are sitting right near the top of the heap in both categories. Craig Rathjen is in there. Good blocker. Give it to James. Garrett James tries for the first down over the right side, and he's going to be close to it.
LSU went into a power formation, similar to what Bill Arnsberger did at University of Miami, the Dolphin team. Nebraska crowded inside, and that's where Nebraska is very strong. I believe they're a little bit short of the first down. You spread Nebraska defense out, they're not as successful and effective as they are when they crowd you inside.
LSU's going to go here on fourth down and very short.
They got no choice, Keith. They've got to go for it. One of the things about the single back offense is patience when you get into the scoring area, being able to run that football and put it in the end zone.
He's doing something here in the early going against Nebraska now that he did against Notre Dame when he jumped out to an early lead over the Fighting Irish in their first loss of the year. But as the game went on, LSU grew a little more macho. They started trying to play Notre Dame head up, Frank. They couldn't play Notre Dame head up, and I don't think they can play Nebraska head up either.
They cannot. The success of LSU will depend upon their formations, forcing Nebraska to stretch them to cover the field from sideline to sideline. As we look at Tom Osborne and his fantastic record, second winningest coach of active coaches.
Dalton Hilliard is back in. 4th and a half a yard, and it goes to hit. Oh, it is kept. Kept by the quarterback, Wickersham. That's a little bit of old riverboat gambling right there, folks, as Wickersham gets the first down all right, as Hilliard goes up to the top of the stack and may or may not have had the play. Now watch the progress here at the top of the stack.
He's out without any personal protection. The lineman fakes the defensive line out of the way, and Wickersham, who's not known to be a runner, lowers his head, keeps his legs driving, and makes the first down.
by 1.5 yards, despite the fact he was out there all by himself. So that'll tell you something about how much of a gamble that was. Well, I'm not sure Hilliard would have made it. Wickersham back to throw on first down, loops it up in the corner, touchdown, Gary James. Penalty flag back at the line of scrimmage. Hold your tater.
Keith, it was a beautifully run pattern. James was the inside receiver. He went down in for the flag, and the Nebraska cornerback did not drop deep enough. It's a tough break for LSU.
Holding. Offense. Still first down.
It is a Southwest Conference crew of officials. Dixon Holman, the referee, Louis Shuffle, the umpire, Buddy Coleman, Roger Rogers, George Slatsky, and Ron Murphy. Only 6, not 7.
Nebraska has not faced this style of offense since the Miami game in the Orange Bowl last year.
It's 1st and 20 as the ball comes back to the 36, and Wickersham throws it behind Hilliard and incomplete. This is one of the things that causes Wickersham a lot of trouble. He can be brilliant for 4, 5, 6 plays, and then all of a sudden, for some strange reason, he'll fluff up one like that where he's got a man wide open. He'll throw a little knuckleball up there, and it'll be behind him. And it's resulted in him also being the leader in interceptions.
He's had 30 interceptions, Keith, in 2 years, 13 this year, 17 last. As we look at the offensive comparisons, we see Nebraska prefers running, LSU mixes it up.
Deep drop this time on 2nd down and 20. He's got all day to throw the ball, hits Gary James with it, and Gary is back to the original line of scrimmage, the 26.
Jeff Wickersham has passed over 2,000 yards both his sophomore and junior year. When you give him this much time, he can go to his 2nd and 3rd choice receivers. His deep men are covered. He finally looks to the right. James is open. Underneath, these type of receivers are out to control the short linebacker coverage. James lowers his head and picks up the 10 yards.
So it's 3rd and 10 now from the 26 of Nebraska, and LSU 0 for 2 so far tonight in converting on 3rd down. They've got to do it, obviously, throwing. Wickersham's pass, penalty flags are all over the place as Wickersham's pass down the middle is underthrown, and he's fortunate it wasn't intercepted. If you've got a holding call, I'm sure, over there on one of the receivers.
Yeah, it was the receiver, either offense or defense, I'm not sure, but they collided, and it's against the defense. Obviously, the Nebraska was trying to disrupt the receivers.
It's holding against Nebraska secondary defense.
Eric Martin, number 41, is the wide receiver. When he tries to go inside, McCashlin, number 2, has got him right there with his right arm. You can see him hold him right there. The official was right on top of it and dropped the flag. 10-yard penalty.
Holding by the defense before the pass was thrown. Automatic first down.
Well, I guess everything balances out. And so we have no score here. LSU, having lost a touchdown here in the opening quarter to a penalty, is now back to a first down and 10 from the Nebraska 16. And Dalton Hilliard carries it up over right guard, finds a great big gaping hole, and goes thundering inside the 10 and down to about the 8-yard line.
LSU offensive men, Keith, as we look at Tom Osborne, I know how worried he is right now. He cannot prepare his team for a opponent like LSU that has such speed and great runners and a good passer. The first quarter, he's going to have to make some real adjustments.
6.5 minutes to go in the first period. We welcome those of you who have been enjoying the Rose Bowl. This is the Sugar Bowl. Dalton Hilliard trips up at the 10. He may have tripped over the feet of Wickersham, the quarterback, as Wickersham dropped back. Either that or that field is very sticky, because we've had a lot of people now have trouble with their footing, and not because they are slipping, mind you, but because they are sticking to it. Maybe they've got a kind of a shoe on here that's causing them some trouble on this particular surface.
Could be, Keith. Most people in a game like this wear tennis shoes. They don't wear any cleats at all, but if you do put cleats on, sometimes the traction is so substantial that your foot clogs in.
It is 3rd down and 3. It figures a passing play now as McGee goes in motion, and a penalty flag out of the end zone. One of the side judge back there threw it, And you've got too much time called against LSU. So the Tigers have made a youthful mistake perhaps here, or at least a lack of organization mistake, because they couldn't get the play into the ball game in time. And there's your final score in the Rose Bowl. USC beating Ohio State 20-17. The Trojans out to a big lead at one time.
Offense.
Keeps going back to this ball game. The one thing about the sideways offense, the single back, when you get close to the goal line, the field compresses and shrinks, and you have difficulty getting it in. LSU this year has attempted 27 field goals, more than any team that we saw all year long. Had trouble getting it across that goal line with a single back offense.
It is 3rd down and 7 now. And LSU still screwed up, so Wickersham calls timeout. So they go through that moment of absolute confusion where nobody seems to be able to compute anybody else. So they'll take timeout to talk.
If you've got what it takes and really care, there's a special kind of life you'll want to share. Serving your country is a special call. It's good for you. It's good for all. Not all who try fit the bill. It calls for brains. It calls for skill in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. High-tech and the services go hand in hand. It's a whole new world. You're in demand in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. You'll move up. You'll feel proud. You'll stand out above the crowd in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. But most of all, you'll earn the respect of the people and country you're there to protect in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. It's a great place to start.
I'm Mr. Goodwrench. Do you know what happens when an oil filter is used too long? It shuts down completely. And all the metal particles in a brace of grit that normally get filtered out go straight to your engine and could possibly cause damage. So, when you're in for an oil change, better let me check and see if you need a new General Motors oil filter, too, just to be sure.
Keep that great GM feeling
With me, Mr. Goodwrench.
and genuine GM parts.
The Year of the Street Hawk begins this Friday at 8:30, 7:30 Central.
Well, hopefully now the Tiger offensive folks have got themselves organized. They don't want to miss this opportunity. The ball is about 3rd and 7. It's setting just outside the 13-yard line of Nebraska. There is no score in the first quarter, and you've got 5 minutes and 22 seconds to go in the first period.
Keep an interesting statistic on LSU. The 64 times that they penetrated 4-down territory, they ran in it for touchdowns only 24.
Well, it figures past year with Jean-Baptiste and the primary blocker back there. They're just very Wickersham. Good defensive work by the secondary for Nebraska. They jumped all over Eric Martin as he came down the field. They had double coverage on Fontenot, and there literally was nobody for Wickersham to dump the ball through. And so it is 4th down, and the offensive unit sort of dragging its head a little bit now, and Bill Arnsparger is not happy with what he sees. He wants a little more pep and vinegar, I would think.
Well, the penalty really took them out of the chance to run the ball in. They had 3rd and 2 and got a 5-yard delay penalty. That's a no-no.
4th down, and here's your field goal try in the air by Ronnie Lewis, who beat out Juan Betanzos at midseason for the job, and he has nailed a 37-yard field goal. And at 4:40 to go in the first quarter, LSU takes the lead 3-0.
Delta gets you there.
We're Delta Airlines.
We love the things we do, and we do them all to please you. Delta Airlines. We'll take you almost anywhere. Anytime we'll get you there. Delta gets you there. Listening, really listening. We want to know what's on your mind. Talk to us, we've got the time. Caring, really caring. We care about the things we do. We want to make it right for you. Delta gets you there.
Bill Arnsparger, a man in his 50s who has come to college football for the first time, talking to him yesterday about his adventures in his first year.
I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it probably as much as any year I have in coaching. Of course, I always enjoy coaching, and every place I've been, I've enjoyed coaching, and I've had the opportunities to be with a lot of fine players and a lot of fine coaches, and I've enjoyed that relationship. But this year, I've enjoyed it even more. I think I'm involved in more things, which I really want to do. I've enjoyed the recruiting and talking to mamas and daddies and the players, and I've enjoyed visiting with the alumni clubs and the fan clubs.
I expect that he's going to have a very happy long run.
He has great respect from his players. They believe in him. He told us they'd do what he wanted them to do. They'd be playing for the championship.
2 yards deep in the end zone, it's Doug Dubose, the Nebraska I-back. And boy, does he take a lick as he comes up across the 15. Whoa, did he get hit?
Well, Nebraska has had only one possession so far in this ball game, and a loss by the quarterback dropping back to pass put them in the long yardage. Nebraska must avoid the long yardage. The weakest part of their team is the passing.
So the Huskers will go to work now. First down from their 16. And it's Jeff Smith lined up behind Tom Rathman and Craig Sundberg. And Sundberg flips it out to Smith, breaks to the outside, and good pursuit by LSU as Ricky Chetman goes outside to get him. The inside linebacker going over to make the play. Ball comes out across the 20 near the 21.
LSU continues to replace their football team with seniors and juniors. They have the best redshirt program probably in America. Virtually every player but a few. Nebraska has the best redshirt program in America, as you can look at the number of seniors that they have playing in this ball game.
Second down and 5 for the Huskers, and it's Smith pumping it up the middle, reaches for the 24 and just barely gets there. So he's going to be a couple of yards short of the first down with Tommy Clapp, the nose guard, and John Hazard making the stop. Now, the LSU Tigers are going to have some great football players coming back next year to join their defensive unit, players who were of the quality to be at least all-conference, and some of them all-American contenders, I think, this year. Alan Barbet is one, I think, of immediately.
Kidduck and Greg Thomas, the nose guard, they've had a lot of injuries with that defensive line.
Third down and 2. Sundberg pitches it out to Smith, and Jeff Smith cuts it back against the flow and reaches the 37-yard line before he is brought down by Lippert Hopley.
One of the toughest plays to stop in football on third and short yardage is the option play. The first choice is to the fullback. Then the quarterback comes out, and then he pitches off to Smith, who gets a good block from the wingback, Swanson, and the tight end, Breen, and you can see the cutting ability of Smith, who's had a very fine senior year, all Big 8, along with his alternate tailback, first team all Big 8 in Dubose.
Played most of the season, Frank, with a very sore ankle, and says he feels better now than it's felt since September.
When he hurt the ankle against UCLA.
Yep. Smith this time takes a pretty good lick from a couple of purple shirts as he cuts it over the right side for a couple of yards, and let's join Tim Brand.
Keith, LSU tailback Gary James has suffered a groin injury. It is an aggravation of an old injury he had, but he's having trouble right now putting any pressure on it and trying to run. He, as you know, caught that touchdown pass that was negated earlier. Add to that there is a hamstring problem with Herman Fontenoy, and they're starting to lose now some of their team speed.
They are. Second down and about 7. That's a long 7 for Nebraska. And Sundberg, a little stand-up throw to Shane Swanson. Swanson is across the 40 to the 41, and immediately his legs are cut from under him by number 27. That is Kevin Guidry.
And along the strong safety, Dale, both have had an outstanding year. But Keith, we talked about forcing the inside patterns. Normally, Nebraska would have thrown an outside pattern for large gains. They had to change it and throw it inside, and the two men held it to a very small gain.
Well, defense is Bill Arnsparger's specialty.
It sure is. He had a great career.
Third and 5. Sundberg got some heat on him, gets it off to the sidelines, and it is incomplete. The man was out of bounds. Schnitzler, the intended receiver, and Rob could not get down inside the playing area, and so it brings up 4th and 5, and the Cornhuskers will have to punt it away. Dropping back now to receive it for LSU will be Norm Jefferson, and Livingston is in to punt. The last time that LSU had the ball, they were able to get a field goal from 37 yards to lead 3-0. So they tried vigorously to thwart their own opportunity.
Keith, the big question was, could LSU stop the rushing game of Nebraska? They have in the first 2 possessions, forced them into passing situations.
The punt is high and hanging by Livingston, and fair catch called over on the far sideline by Jeffrey Dale, number 4.
It's a penalty, Keith, because the Nebraska player got too close to the safety man who is signaled for a fair catch. The rule says he must stay 2 yards away from the safety man. He was very close to him. It's a good call by the official. Here it is on the top of your screen. You can see the white shirt is less than 2 yards from the defensive safety man as he catches the ball. That is a 5-yard penalty.
I think we saw some games this past season that probably lent new emphasis to the enforcement of that rule, because it was not always called this past season. Minute and a half to go, first quarter.
One reason why Duracell batteries last so long is because we're always improving them. In fact, today's Duracell batteries will last up to 20% longer than the ones we made just 3 years ago. To do it any other way would be, well, the tail wagging the dog. Duracell, the copper top battery. When it comes to making them last longer, we never stop.
Look inside your imagination. See with your mind's eye a dream van. A van that stands alone in all the universe, with more cargo room than other new-size vans. A van with the only available B6. A van with the most available seating. But it's no dream. This dream van is real. The new-size Chevy Astro. Order yours now.
U.S. Olympic gymnastic gold medalist featuring Mary Lou Retton and more. Plus Dynamo Mark Breland's second pro bout live on ABC's Wide World of Sports at a new time Saturday.
LSU's football, first down, just outside their own 27 with a minute and a half to go in the first quarter. And LSU leading 3-0. Be interesting to see now what happens second time around. LSU had the ball a long time the last time. This is Sammy Martin, number 23, carrying the ball. He's in there now because, as Tim told you a moment ago, Gary James has a groin injury. The ball is carried out to the 39-yard line, where he's going to need about 3 more for his first down. Coming up this coming weekend, the Pro Bowlers Tour starts rolling out west with a season premiere from Union City, California at 3 Eastern, 2 Central Time. This event will be seen at 3 out on the West Coast, one of the longest running and most successful sports television programs in the history of the business. Little pop intended for Eric Martin. Gary James had just come in on the play, and he was breaking one way. Martin was the trailer. Neither could get to it, as Wickersham dumped it in the crowd, and he's lucky to get it back.
The advantage of the 4-receiver offense, a single back in the running position, are the quick passes. If you don't throw the quick passes, Keith, if you don't establish them, then you're not going to have any success doing anything. They treat those type plays as running plays. That's their version of the sweep.
Rathjen in to replace number 13, Gary James. And Wickersham's pass drilled to Eric Martin for a first down. No, it is not Martin. It's Fontenot up at the 45, just over the 45. So Fontenot, who is also laboring a little bit with a slight injury, pulls it into his tummy and makes it first down for LSU.
Good protection. Rickerstaff has plenty of time. He's looking at the receiver all the way. 2-on-1, 2 receivers on a single defender. Watch him come up and make the play. Comes up and makes the play, but not before the first down.
Just over the 45. Clock is rolling. 2.5 minutes to go in the first quarter of this 51st annual Sugar Bowl game. Hilliard to the ball. Cut back in the middle. Oh, that fella can run in traffic. He is exciting, and he crosses midfield to the Nebraska side for a pickup of 5.
Mark Munford, outstanding sophomore linebacker, is only 19 years old. Right now, he's already established himself as one of the most consistent linebackers Nebraska's ever had. Going to be a great one. Gets blocked back by Campbell, the center, but doesn't give up. Keeps his feet, comes and wraps up arms around Hilliard.
First quarter is over. Well, after 15 minutes in the Sugar Bowl, the home folks, the LSU Tigers, lead the Cornhuskers of Nebraska by a score of 3-0.
Tenneco is a leading oil and gas producer. Tenneco is America's most successful shipyard. Tenneco is America's best-selling shock absorber. Tenneco is the world's best-selling backhoe. Tenneco is one of America's largest natural gas pipelines. The Tenneco family, building on quality.
When you need a little lift, but you just can't take a break, chew Wrigley's Spearmint Gum.
The cool, refreshing feeling of Wrigley's Spearmint Gum puts a little lift in everything you do. That good, smooth chewing, that crisp, clean taste. That Wrigley's Spearmint pickup is going for you.
Wrigley's Spearmint Gum really keeps you humming. Wrigley's Spearmint Gum keeps you humming along. Wrigley's Spearmint Gum really keeps you humming. Wrigley's Spearmint Gum keeps you humming.
Boy, it's great to be on vacation. Yeah, and we never go on vacation without Hertz. I wouldn't risk my vacation with an unreliable rental-car company. And Hertz affordable weekly rates save me money. But people say Hertz is more reliable. But now, Hertz costs less money. Arnie, more reliable. Less money. Arnold, more reliable. Less money.
Hertz Affordable Florida, only $79 a week. Now the rent-a-car company that gives you more is less.
Less money. Boy, they let anybody in this place. These guys are lighting up.
Did you hear AT&T has introduced something rather radical? The Reach Out America plan. Calling anywhere in the United States weekends and nights is just $10 an hour. The next is even less. So you can see how far your money goes. Quite ingenious, really. They even have a number for ordering. 1-800-551-3131. Reach Out America. They may be onto something.
AT&T. The more you hear, the better we sound.
We go to the second quarter now of this 51st Sugar Bowl game with the LSU Tigers sitting on the football, first down at midfield. That's not first down, it's second down and 5. The ball is precisely at midfield. And back goes Jeff Wickersham to throw it. Got all day, goes to the sidelines and throws it to a Nebraska man standing about 5 yards out of bounds. Here are your numbers off the first quarter.
These numbers show how LSU has played on both sides of the ball, how effective they've been. Their defense has only allowed Nebraska a total of 28 yards in the first quarter on 2 possessions. On all 3 of LSU's possessions, they've moved down the field and are still moving the ball very effectively. They seem to have the upper hand with their passing game. Nebraska has not gotten untracked.
Third and 5. He's got Martin down the middle. And Eric Martin takes it on down inside the 31 near the 30. First down for LSU.
Give Wickersham much credit as Martin, number 41. He has the speed to push deep. You can see he acts like he's going deep. He turns inside, catches the ball. It was kind of a wobbly pass. Wasn't very pretty, but then Martin takes off and Nebraska finally brings him to the ground. But Wickersham stayed right into the pocket.
Weak job of defense, however, by Brian Washington, especially on the tackle. Dalton Hilliard trying to cut it back against the grain, has his feet whipped out from under him by Kim Shedd, number 99.
Jeff Wickersham, the LSU quarterback, has been praised and he's been criticized. He's had a hot hand and then he's had a cold hand. Thrown for 30 interceptions in the last 2 years. But he also leads LSU. He's the all-time leading passer. If he gets a hot hand, Bill Arnsberger told me that he's a streak passer. When he gets on a hot streak, watch out.
Second and 10. That's Gary James. Stiff arms one man and turns the corner. I think you could see a little bit there that he was dragging the left leg because of the groin pull. If he has all of his speed, I think he sticks it in the end zone.
Once again, we see the speed. James is a little delay pass, meaning that the linebackers drop deep. You have to throw underneath them. Strasburger, the all-big 8, number 90, tries to make the tackle. He cannot do it. The stiff arm by James, who has been timed to 4-3 in the 40-yard dash.
Gary's got to sit down over there now. He cannot walk back across the field because of the groin pull. That may have been the last major effort of this ball game for him.
Keith, just to show you the play selection of LSU, they've rushed 12 times and they've passed 12 times. Strasburger is an outstanding defensive end. Starter for 3 years, number 90. His assignment is to drop it, cover the zone. Now, once the ball is caught in front of him, he's to come up and make the tackle, but there's a mismatch. between the speed of Strasburger and James, number 33, who's the fastest Tiger, and you see how he turns it on and makes the big gain.
But he may be gone for the day because Tim Brandt told you a while ago he is struggling with a groin pull, and he started visibly to hobble going around the corner, and it kept him out of the end zone.
No company can simply deliver a computer and feel it has delivered on the promise of office automation. At Wang, we provide service and support along with our computers so that the people who use them will always be able to perform to their fullest potential. Wang, we put people in front of computers.
Looks like you need to escape.
Do I?
Today's Chevrolet knows a way. Camaro Berlinetta.
Come on in, take the wheel, light it up, get the feel, it's time to escape.
Available digital sound system, cockpit instrumentation, and new standard multi-port fuel-injected V6. Camaro Berlinetta.
If this is today's Chevrolet, I'm free!
Today's Chevy, live today's Chevy, Chevy.
Watch Gary James and see how injured he really is. He has shown the capacity for bouncing back, has a history of it. But right now, Dalton Hilliard has been pretty quiet in the ball game. James is out of there. James broke a big play in the first possession by LSU to get him going. And right now, your backfield people behind Wickersham are Craig Rathjen, a sophomore, and Sammy Martin, a freshman. Rosie McGee, number 80, is also in there, and the handoff goes to Martin. And Sammy Martin, trying to pick up a block, makes his cut too late and runs into the stack and doesn't get much out of it. Ball is setting now inside the 15 of Nebraska at the 13, where it's second down and 8. The advance was 2 yards.
Keith, let's go back again and say that LSU, with their single back offense, has had difficulty getting the ball in the end zone. With a single back, the defense can just key on him and move collectively and make the play. They have to go to the passing game.
I guess the Bears finally proved that, didn't they?
Yes.
Wickersham loops it in the corner for Fontenot. Too long, penalty flag. Got a bump coming down there, and the bump is against Brett Clark, I think, number 10. Or Dennis Watkins, 27.
It's the left halfback, Watkins, who's playing in place of Neil Harris. But it's the fade pattern. Fontenot is just going to go to the outside and watch Watkins use his hands right here. He's going to collision him. If he had Fontenot in front of him, that's a legal collision. But the fact that they're on the same line of the field, it's an illegal push. And pretty close.
Looked like more of a bump in live action than it did in slow motion.
I'm surprised that they put the ball on the 2-yard line. I guess that's right.
First and goal at the 2. Give it to Hilliard. Touchdown.
Cross buck over to the left side of your screen. Rathjen fakes to the right. Then you have one of the backs pulling around. Martin fakes to the right. Big hole opening up by the left side of the line.
Ronnie Lewis for the extra point. Good.
From the end zone, let's see the blocking. The key at the line of scrimmage, the pivotal area, is a line of scrimmage, and you can see the blocking on the right of your screen opens up a big hole, and Hilliard goes right through it for the touchdown. Rathjen was the leading blocker. He had no one to block. He could have scored if you'd given him the ball.
13 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the first half. LSU 10 and Nebraska still looking for some offense.
MasterCard, fill my flat.
MasterCard International. So proudly, so welcome.
Your taste is impeccable.
MasterCard.
card is.
Hand warming, hot hand warming.
Put your hands together around a hot Big Mac.
Hot, hot, pork and hot French fries.
Don't it warm your hands, make you want to clap.
Filet of fish, a hot, hot dish.
It's a good time for the great taste.
Big Mac, pork pounders, French fries, chicken, 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 McNuggets. Hand warming.
It's a good time for the great taste. McDonald's.
It's hand warming time at McDonald's.
ABC Sports and the Professional Bowlers Tour. Rolling strikes for its 24th exciting year. Mark it down. The season premiere Saturday at 3 Eastern and Pacific, 2 Central.
Well, the Tigers looked a little better organized that time, and they were helped some by Nebraska mistakes in moving it 73 yards for the touchdown.
LSU has shown a great deal of confidence, and as we said earlier, if Wickersham gets a hot hand, he can be tough, and Nebraska has not faced this style of offense. They are still trying to get adjusted and lined up properly.
The kickoff by DeFrank. DeBose returning for Nebraska. And the young man from Connecticut comes up just short of the 30-yard line.
Let's go back to the interference play, and the rule clearly says the defensive back can have legal contact with the receiver until the ball is thrown, as long as the receiver does not occupy the same line as the defensive back. The receiver seems to be in front of the defensive back. If the ball has not been thrown, right there is not interference. If the ball has been thrown, it is interference.
Doug DuBose is your eye back. He's a little quicker than Smith. Ball is handed off to Porter, the fullback, and Scott Porter. And that's almost an upset these days when a Nebraska fullback gets to see the ball. It's up to about the 34, where it'll be second down and 6.
Nebraska's going to have to attack the middle of the LSU defense, which has been hurt by injuries to their nose guard Thomas, to their tackle Kiddock, to Osborne, another tackle. They have a makeshift defensive line, and that is the weakness of the LSU defense at this time.
I would think they just beat on them.
To pound them is what Nebraska likes to do.
Thunberg flips it out to DuBose. DuBose, I told you, quick feet. Slashes inside and picks up a first down at the 44. ABC's Wide World of Sports coming up Saturday. U.S. Olympic gymnasts will feature the young lady from Fairmont, West Virginia, who's become a star, Mary Lou Retton. And you'll see Mark Breland in his second professional fight from Atlantic City. Another youngster bidding to become a star. That all begins at 4:30 Eastern Time this coming Saturday. Back goes Sundberg. Down the middle, pass good. Caught for the tight end, Brian Heemer. And Heemer's got a first down for the Huskers at the 43 of LSU.
LSU has been playing 10 men close to the line of scrimmage on first down. Most colleges do that. A running play fake. Had the linebackers up into the line, and you can see that Heemer is wide open right there. Sundberg is right on target and a key first down for the Huskers.
They trail 10-0 to the Fighting Tigers. Sundberg gives it. DuBose coming against the grain. Doug loses his footing a little bit as he makes contact with Jefferson, number 12, but he's still got a first down at the 31 of LSU. He was close to popping that one.
Number 94, Michael Brooks, leads the team in sacks and tackles for losses. He has unusual speed. Watch the blow that he gives to Sundberg after he throws the ball. Bishop was right there after he handed the ball off. Excuse me.
See, he's getting a free ride into the backfield, though, because he's lined up over there with no tight end competition.
He has a free rush.
Notre Dame, if you remember, put a tight end, double tight end alignment over there, and they controlled him pretty well. This is DuBose. Shakes one behind the line, but can't shake three. John Hazard just missed him behind the line of scrimmage, but then came the flood, led by Ricky Chapman, 37, and number 97, Tommy Clapp.
Doug DuBose also was an All-Big 8 selection. I think it's the first time that I can ever remember where one team had two All-Conference backs playing the same position, Keith, not in the same backfield, alternating at tailback. One rushed for over 900, one for over 1,000 yards. Smith and DuBose.
Second down and 10. Sundberg. Little screen pass set up for DeBose. He's got a convoy. It's touchdown. Yards, and I want to tell you, you get 4 Huskers out in front of Doug Dubose, and it's all the mailman.
How do you set up a screen? There's 2 key points. The lineman invites the defense to rush to the inside, letting them go out, the offensive linemen go out and form a wall of blockers. And the quarterback makes a good face looking down the field. You put 2 of them together, and you're going to have a successful play. And that was as pretty an execution of the screen pass as we've seen all season.
Line for the extra point. Hooked it, got it inside. And at 10:31 to go in the first half, Nebraska's on the scoreboard now, trailing by 3, 10-7. Yep, when I saw those 4 people out in front of DuBose, I figured it was going to take a near miracle play by one of the Tigers to get it.
Here we set up the screen. The defensive lineman rushed to the inside. Then the quarterback rolls to this side and tosses it back to the great runner, Doug Dubose. Look at the blockers Keith was talking about. That offensive line, Doug Morrow making a great Tom Morrow, number 77, making a great play, and Dubose accelerating into the end zone. Now let's see it from a different angle. A fake, roll to the left, all the defense moving in that direction, and then a throwback screen. That's not fair, Keith. Throwback screen should be outlawed from football. You execute it like that, there's no way to stop it. And the line did their part perfectly. Now, the key to it was keeping Michael Brooks, the great linebacker, number 94, off of the play. The third replay that we're going to see here, we'll see it after the kickoff. How they handle Brooks on that play. Brooks beating their great defensive player.
So the Huskers a little in your face and come back with a 70-yard touchdown march. And Sammy Martin will not try to return it, and they'll bring it out to the 20 where the Tigers will have it first down.
Michael Brooks, number 94, has been free and clear most of the ball game so far. This way he likes to play, but when he gets a tight end or like Heimer, he has to play that position first. He's not as effective. He doesn't have the freedom, the range to do what he wants to do. Then he picks up Porter, number 36, keeps him off of the play just in time. Never have I seen any prettier execution of the throwback screen. And Keith, I'm not kidding. It's one of the toughest plays to defend in football. Particularly a team like on defense like LSU that runs so effectively. They take
DuBose now in just a few minutes of playing time, Frank. On that drive of 2 minutes and 40 seconds, DuBose accounted for 53 of the 70 yards. And the Nebraska defensive folk now trying to get their hackles up a little bit. And they jump into the action. Dalton Hilliard has some problems short of the line of scrimmage at the 19. Looks like he tripped over Kurt Gore.
The pulling guard. Yes, yep. The pulling guard. The little penetration, little quick penetration, forced Gore to pull back deep, and he tripped up the ball carrier Hilliard.
Hilliard now 9 carries and 19 yards in the game. Gary James is out there again. He keeps bouncing back after they drag him off the field. Wickersham plums one. Oh, he threw a bullet. And Mitch Andrews, the tight end, couldn't pull it down. Let's see if he's got a hole in his chest. He really threw that thing hard.
He gunned it into Andrews. Andrews is really a prototype tight end. Tight end is one of the toughest positions I always found to find because it has to be a combination blocker and have speed of a wide receiver. Well, Mitch Andrews has both. He's 235, 4'6" in the 40, has caught 24 passes this season. Out of character, Keith, for him to drop it. He has excellent hands.
Oh, it got hard, though.
He did gun it in there.
Either drop it or lose a long, I think. There's another bullet by Wickersham, except this time it is drilled into Herman Fontenot, and it's good for a first down out across the 30 at the 32.
The Nebraska defensive linebackers are a little bit scared to drop very deep because of Hilliard and James coming out of the backfield. So it opens up that area behind the linebacker in front of the safety, and Fontenot comes right in front of him and catches it. Here's how he got open. Behind the linebackers and in front of the safety. He also was a running back as a freshman, moved to wide receiver, and has had a fine career.
Here comes Gary James. Not much.
Nebraska collectively are an outstanding defensive front. They are number 1 in defense against scoring, number 1 in total defense, but Mark Munford is the main reason for this defensive team. Sophomore linebacker, knows how to read the play. The coaches say that he knows how, but that's an outstanding play. He took on the block of Gordon, number 63, and still made the play. Not many linebackers, Keith, can do that.
Well, he had a great ball game against, was it Oklahoma?
Oklahoma,
right?
He certainly did.
Ooh-wee.
He weighs 225, runs a 4.7, nose for the football. Number 41.
Second down and 8. Wickersham goes big with it for McGee. He's got it. And he is down at the 16 of Nebraska. Got behind and beat Dave Burke.
McGee is the freshman, number 80. Has a 24-yard average per reception. He's the one that caught the Hail Mary pass against Notre Dame. A 60-yarder touchdown pass against Kentucky. Blazing speed. Has greatness written all over him, but concentration in behind the senior, Dave Burke. Freshman gets in behind him and makes the reception.
50 yards on the play. Mark it to 17. Wickersham stands up, a quick pop thrown behind Fontenot. Threw the ball behind him. Now Herman had his man in his pocket and was headed home for 6, but Wickersham threw the ball behind him.
Let's look how good the Nebraska defense is. Rushing, they are 4. Passing, they're 5th, only 124 yards a game. Total yardage 203, number 1 in the nation. 9.5, number 1. And we'll show you a little bit later what LSU has already done to those numbers, and we're just in the second quarter.
Wickersham is 10 out of 16 for 166 yards. 8.5 minutes to go in the first half. Pitch out comes. Goes to the wide man, Gary James, and James is inside the 10, steps out of bounds near the 9. Not too bad for a guy that's supposed to be half mortally wounded with a groin pull.
Keith, he's had that kind of reputation all the time. He broke his hand on the weekend after the after the Vanderbilt ball game, and the coaches don't know how, but he was held out a couple of games. He's had a career where he's had nagging injuries. He's a very talented young man. LSU ran the sweep. Nebraska had no force from the corner. Big game resulted. Here's Wickersham for the game. Already way ahead of the average.
Got Rathjen and Martin now, and there's the setbacks. And Wickersham lost control of the snap. Never got away from center with it. Looked like the center followed the ball, having realized that it was loose. It was Kevin Langford, the guard, I guess, who saw it loose. Perhaps either the quarterback or the center yelled fumble, and Kevin came back to recover it, so it brings up 4th down and probably brings in Ronnie Lewis, and does. Ronnie has kicked a 37-yarder already tonight. Clock shows 8 minutes to play. This is from 28 yards, and it will be out of the hold of Clay Parker, the punter. Lewis puts it up and nails it through there with a penalty flag on the field. So let's wait before we become exultant over the field goal try. Nailed the kicker against Nebraska. The penalty will surely be waved off.
No, Keith, they will take it. The penalty will be
enough for a first down?
on the kickoff. They can either take it and give them a first down. Yes, it will give half the distance to the goal.
I'm saying, is that enough for a first down?
Yeah, I believe it is. It's half the distance would put it just enough for a first down. They'll test it. The LSU will go up and say, mark it off and see if it's a first down. If it is, we may take the points off the board. If they don't and keep the points, the penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Where was the ball snapped from? The 12?
The ball was snapped from the 12. Half the distance is 6 yards.
6.
So the first down marker is on the 7. It will be a first down. They'll ask the referee. They don't have to make a decision until the referee steps it off to see if it is a first down.
Shouldn't somebody go up and now he's doing it?
They're going to do that. Now they've already established that it is the first down. They're going to take the point off the board.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Automatic first down.
Dave Burke runs into him, I think.
The reason we have this rule is a safety measure. Number 33 is coming from the left of your screen with the kicker not having time to regain his balance. Burke goes right into him, knocks him down. Clear violation.
So it is 1st and goal from the 6 now. As LSU gets the penalty call against the Huskers. It's a first down by a yard, and Gary James tries to go to the corner, fumbles the ball. It goes out of bounds, and LSU will keep possession.
Keith, if the ball was declared dead before the fumble. Had it not been, the fumble went out of the end zone, and it would have bounced. It bounced out of the end zone, and it would have been Nebraska's ball at the 20. You can see this great run for just a short yardage, but it's an excellent effort. Right here, the ball is knocked free. Now, how he called that? Oh, it went out of bounds. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it went in the end zone. You're right. I thought it went out of bounds in the end zone.
From a yard, second down. Wickersham gives it. James sticks his head in there and runs into a mixmaster. There's a penalty flag thrown by the man across the way.
One of the units, defensive or offensive units, is offside. It's an offside call. I couldn't tell which team. Well, this LSU team looks great. They are throwing that ball all over the field, putting Nebraska in defensive positions that they haven't been placed all season long. Once again, the passing teams have a big advantage, Keith, in the bowl game.
It was also an important thing, though, that they took that time when they were all messed up down there and about to blow an opportunity to score something. They did take the time to come over and sit down with Arnsparger and company, and Bill got everything organized, and they wound up getting the 3 points, and that means something in your first possession.
Keith, you're exactly right, and as we looked at Bill Arnsparger, he came to LSU.
On the play, the defense was lined up in the neutral zone.
In a very controversial situation, he kept his mouth shut and has done a great job.
Now the quarterback trying to slide over the top with it, and I don't think Wickersham made it on second down and goal. He's got Rathjen and Martin lined up. Now this is a team, mind you, that has Dalton Hilliard and Gary James. And right now we're looking at Craig Rathjen and Sammy Martin.
A freshman and a sophomore, when they got two of the best runners probably in the same backfield, James and Hilliard, of any team in the Southeastern Conference. James is coming back in. He's a good leaper. James can go over the top. But LSU doesn't have a formation that I know of that they can line up in to put the ball carrier over the top. Our formation is the best.
And here's penalty flag stopping them before they can get the play into effective motion. And it's not the 25-second clock because there's still 12 seconds showing there. Procedure.
I saw some offensive men moving.
Yep. They're trying.
What happened is that the Nebraska challenged the neutral zone, which the defense can do as long as they get back before the snap. And the LSU lineman reacted to that challenge.
False start. Offense. Still second down.
Watch to the left of your screen. You can see Nebraska kind of make a little quick charge and get back. And I believe it's the left end or the left guard. Over. You can see the left end, the left tackle, both
both jumped up.
Yes. This is a passing down.
Second down and goal from the 6. Gary James is held at the 3. So it'll bring us third down and goal. Well, they've got their big opportunity on the roughing the kicker call against Nebraska and got the first down at the 6. But since then, they've just been sort of punching at windmills.
Well, Keith, one thing that LSU offense does not have is a power tackle play, which is the best play you can run on the goal line. A power tackle play or over the top. They're east-west, east sideways offense, and it's hard to score sometimes.
Ball is on the 2 for third and goal.
Roll out pass.
Wickersham got nobody to throw it to. Now he comes in and it's incomplete. Finally, Fontenot was able to get over there. But number 10 and number 33 were both waiting for him, and Burke knocked it down.
In 64 times that LSU had the ball in 4-down territory, they were only able to run it in 24 times. Here
why
again,
in the world don't you put in a power play?
Ask the coach, Chief. I would have something that I could go over the top besides the single back offense. Now, when they line up in their tight formation, it's still an east-west offense. They run, it's a delayed on tackle play. Nebraska defense is just too quick for them to run it in. They've had this field goal once, and that's going to be interesting.
19 yards.
They missed it.
Missed it. Holy mackerel. I don't believe it. It's incredible. They had 3 points in the books, got a first and goal from the 6, and wound up with nothing.
After stuffing yourself into crowded buses, crowded toy departments in crowded department stores, then stuffing the stocking, stuffing the turkey, and stuffing yourself, remember to unwrap the most important package of all. From all your friends at Alka-Seltzer, we wish you a merry, merry, merry holiday season.
It's Chevrolet's New Year kickoff. Chevy dealers are kicking off the new year with their biggest and longest celebration ever. They're out to sell 175,000 cars and trucks by January 21st. Take delivery from a wide selection of Chevrolet's most popular cars and trucks by January 21st and make no monthly payments till spring with GMAC financing. And what's more, save up to $740 on specially equipped full-size pickups, up to $330 on celebrity sedans and wagons. Big savings, deferred payments at your Chevy dealers.
New England's fishermen battle for survival. Tomorrow, watch ABC's World News Tonight.
Well, LSU is still leading 10-7 after that comedy.
Keith, I still would have taken the points off the board, leading by
I
only
would too,
3
sure.
points.
So
If the score had been tied, I would never have taken the points off. But a 3-point lead, another field goal gives them 6. That's not enough in this ball game.
But that'll give some confidence to the Nebraska defensive folk, and they're tough enough as it is. And this play is inside, up across the 25 to the 26, with Scott Porter carrying the ball. Nebraska averaging about 39 plays per half on the regular season, and so far tonight they've had only 16. Well, Super Bowl 19, here it comes. Pre-game coverage will go and go and go and go, starting at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock Central, and 1 o'clock Pacific time. And we'll have everything for you. The pregame jitters, that includes the first hiccup, I'll guarantee you. There isn't going to be a thing missed in bringing you up to the Super Bowl game of 1985. It's on ABC and comes out of the Stanford Stadium in Palo Alto, California.
Keith, who do you think is going to be in there? I know that the favorites are Marino and Montana.
I'm not sure. I would say San Francisco at the moment would be your favorite team, but they got enough trouble with the Chicago Bears.
Well, I think it's great after all these years that ABC is finally doing the Super Bowl.
3rd down and a yard and a half. And here's the first down play as Dubose pops it big, slashing it back through the middle, and reaches the 37 for the first down.
Here's the power that Nebraska has used. A big offensive line, averaging about 260, all seniors. Scott Porter, number 36, makes the key block on the linebacker. And Dubose shows his quickness. He darts through the hole and makes a big run out of what ordinarily would have been a short yardage play.
He's quick. Boy, he's a good looking back. First down, ball near the 37. Tigers leading by 3, 10-7. Dubose looked like he might want to put the ball up on an option pass play, but that was taken away from him, and he turned it back inside for a yard or so.
Michael Brooks, number 94, can be one of the great linebackers that LSU's ever had. He's going to fight off the block of the tight end. There he is using his hands. Then he takes on the block of the pulling guard. Now what does he do? He goes right after the ball carrier and makes the tackle on Dubose. 2 blockers, and he still makes the tackle. No wonder they're so high on him.
Sophomore.
Ruston, Louisiana.
2nd down, still about 10. Sundberg lobs it outside, and here comes DeVos to the 45. He'll need 2 more yards to keep it. Sean Burks made that tackle, and Burks is the returning player for the Tigers. He's a junior.
These LSU linebackers have outstanding speed. Getting out on the option play after the fake inside is a good indication of the line of speed of Burks, number 57, the leading tackler, 108 for the season.
3:50 and counting in the first half remaining. 10-7 LSU. Dubose, and the Huskers have their first down. Nebraska, Frank, is gaining a little momentum now.
Well, we talked about the offensive running game just needs time to get going again. That contact work, they look sluggish beginning, which we talked about. Now they're beginning to pick up. Those linemen are getting their timing. The execution looks better, and Dubose looks outstanding.
That was an awfully big series.
They needed to move it out from that goal line, that 20-yard line, and get some running room and some air.
I mean, that series where LSU had 3 on 4.
Oh, absolutely.
Came away empty.
Absolutely. Jefferson, this fine defensive back for LSU with 5 interceptions, not in the ball game. I don't know whether he's hurt or not.
Ball is on the 47 with a first down play. They take it up in the middle. Scott Porter, senior out of Nebraska City. And they're going to mark this ball just beyond the 49 of LSU. A pickup on this play about 4 yards.
One of the strengths of Tom Osborne's success, I think, is his signal calling. I think he's one of the best on first down. He has a consistent pattern of running the plays that give him a chance at a big play on first down. He does it nearly to perfection.
Sundberg's pass to the sideline, should never have thrown it. It's intercepted by Jeffrey Dale. He threw it into double coverage, and the up man Dale picks it off.
The rush on Sundberg was the key. Look at the right of your screen. I couldn't tell who it was. It could be Dupont. No, it's Brooks again, number 94, showing his ability to sidestep the blocker, force the throw, and Keith is exactly right. He should not have thrown the ball. Single man receiver, 2 defensive man. Advantages lies with the defense.
2 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the first half. The Tigers have it back and good field position.
Well, moms and dads the world around give their kids the same old sound. Got to go to school, be a big success. They wouldn't settle for anything less. Now they've learned whatever you seek, you'll help yourself to reach your peak. In the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Need a trade? Looking for a skill? They have hundreds to fit the bill. In the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Want more school? Don't have the bread. They'll help pay to get you ahead. Talking Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Mom and dad, they'll want to shout. He's made it big. There's no doubt. Thanks, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. It's a great place to start.
Test pilot Chuck Yeager for AC Delco.
This flight doesn't get scrubbed for bad weather. A high-performance fighter has the technology to handle it. So does this, the all-weather Delco Freedom Battery, with the power to start you in the cold and the technology to beat the heat. And you never add a drop of water. Never wait for trouble. Get the all-weather Delco Freedom Battery.
From $39.95 for a Series 40, call 800 AC Delco.
U.S. Olympic gymnastic gold medalist featuring Mary Lou Retton and more. Plus Dynamo Mark Breland's second pro bout live on ABC's Wide World of Sports at a new time Saturday.
Michael Brooks.
Number 94 is a big playmaker. Every defense needs one that can stop a drive. Nebraska moving down the field, made some first downs, getting some momentum. You need a player like Michael Brooks, who has that quickness and acceleration to come up with a big play and the turnover.
And on first down, Wickersham from the 31 guns it. Complete to Fontenot. And Herman is on the Nebraska side of the field near the 46. Who was that came around in front trying to make that play?
Burke, the defensive back, went around the receiver, as Keith mentioned, and he missed the ball. He should have gone through the receiver, arrived at the same time the ball, and it would have been an incomplete pass. Burke is a senior. His progress has been good. Has 2 interceptions, but he made a mistake there.
First down near the 46. Wickersham got all day. Lobs the ball out to 43. Garland Jean-Baptiste. And Jean-Baptiste carries the ball to about the 43. That is not a mispronunciation. His last name in total is Jean-Baptiste.
I just call him number 43.
First name is Garland.
Look at the yardage that LSU has picked up on this number 1 defensive ranked team in the country, Nebraska.
Second down and 7. But look at the time Wickersham is getting. That's Rathjen. Not much there. Ball comes squirting loose. And Nebraska jumps on it. Greg Rathjen on his way down as the ball slapped away from him, and Ken Draper jumps all over it. And the Cornhuskers get it right back with 1 minute and 40 seconds to play in the first half.
As Keith mentioned, the one thing that LSU has had, commodity, is pass protection. He's looking at the receiver. He finally gets it out to Rathjen. Number 90, Strasburger, wraps him up, spins around, and then I guess that
Chad Daffer knocked it loose.
Daffer knocked it loose, and they recovered it, and Nebraska has the ball.
The look is lean and trim. The car is Cavalier. From today's Chevrolet. The well-honed power of a 2-liter electronically fuel-injected engine. The instinctive agility of front drive, Cavalier. It has the look and the performance for today's America. This is today's Chevrolet. It's fit.
Drive today, Chevy. Live today, Chevy.
Live it.
Chevy.
Dick, send this by Emery to Pittsburgh. And if it's not there by 10:30 tomorrow, I'm holding you personally responsible.
Send this by airborne to San Diego. And if it's not there by 10:30 a.m., Dick, you're in big trouble.
Send this by Purelator to Seattle. And it better get there by 10:30, Dick.
If you were in Dick's shoes, you'd probably do what Dick's going to do.
Hello, Federal.
Federal Express. Why fool around with anyone else?
We've got a new quarterback in the lineup now for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Travis Turner has come in, a bigger and perhaps stronger player and considered a better runner. Travis Turner is in there now with the Huskers trailing by 3 in 1 minute and 40 seconds to play in the first half, owning the ball first down at the 14. And they hand the ball up the middle with Jeff Smith on a carry. And on that little delay, which is so typical and so noticeable in the offensive formation for Nebraska, he picks up almost 5 yards on the play.
Travis Turner has started the last 6 ball games after Sundberg was injured. And he is a better runner, a good option runner, but he's kind of a street fighter, tough young man.
Back to throw it. Shoots it up the middle, throws it behind the receiver off his hands and right into the hands of Lifford Hobley. Hobley is on his knees, praying that that receiver does not come down with the ball.
And the receiver,
because if Swanson catches it, Frankie walks on.
He goes in. Hobley, the outstanding All-American, All-Conference safety man, number 29, slips. As Keith mentioned, he's on his knees right there. The ball comes right to him, and it's his 7th interception of the season. Once again, Nebraska's weak point is the passing game. But you can see Swanson, number 17, the wingback, coming across in behind the linebackers. The ball is deflected, thrown behind him. The ball is high. When you deflect the high pass, it goes up in the air and is usually intercepted.
That Swanson's a tough nut, too. You get him out there one-on-one, and he'll hurt you. Here's the screenplay now, set up for Garland Jean-Baptiste, but Nebraska is not having any of it. And it's going to be right about the line of scrimmage on the tackle, where it was first down and 10 from the 28. It is second down. Mark Munford was the man that messed it up for the Huskers.
LSU said, Nebraska, if you can run a throwback screen, I will too. But it wasn't successful like Nebraska.
He's looking for Martin. He's got him at the 40. Boy, he's a good receiver.
What a great catch he made. Anytime you throw the ball over 10 yards downfield, the receiver must expect to get hit. And Martin was collisioned by the cornerback Harris the moment he caught the ball, but he held it.
LSU trying to hustle it on down the field and get the field goal range. There's a good catch by Garland Jean-Baptiste to keep control of the ball. And he picks up close to 6 yards on the carry, so it'll be second down, and timeout is called with a half a minute to play. And while we're waiting, let's have a look at the Nebraska campus.
The University of Nebraska-Lincoln, one of the nation's foremost land-grant universities, serves more than 25,000 students, including Nebraska's largest number of merit scholars. In research, UNL is a pioneer in discovery and technology, with model programs in video disc and agricultural information. And internationally respected faculty, including 2 of the newest members of the National Academy, bring the excitement of new knowledge into classrooms and extension services. The University of Nebraska-Lincoln, building excellence for America's future.
LSU now, we've got it, 1 timeout remaining. Wickersham 16 out of 23 in the first half. Big first half for Jeff, 211 yards.
One thing that is a little surprising, Nebraska blitzes repeatedly, but they have not been able to sack Wickersham on any of his passing attempts. In fact, to the contrary, the LSU line has given the quarterback Wickersham plenty of time to choose his receivers. You can see what he has done so far. Been allowing only 124 yards passing per game, 5th in the nation.
It's second down, about 4.5, but that's not the matter. The matter is only a half minute remains to play. LSU leads 10-7. They'd like to get in a field goal position. Wickersham looking all over the place and running all over the place and finally unloads it. And the pass is good. and appears to be a first down. It's on the Nebraska side of the field to Mitch Andrews, and he slides out of our vision, but he has enough for the first down. So that stops your clock with 22 seconds, and LSU hustles out there now to be ready to go when they finally get the change down and wind the clock.
Tom Osborne was looking very worried, and he has every right to be, because this offense of LSU's has the speed and the special skill position to hurt Nebraska.
Ricochet down the middle. He won't get that one back. It is intercepted by number 41, Mark Munford. Oh, you don't think he is going to be a great player? Ricochet had 7 in a row. He tried to force one down the middle, intended for Eric Martin, and Munford, a linebacker, mind you, is 3 yards down the field to make the interception.
He's watching the quarterback. He never takes his eyes off the quarterback. He breaks in front of the receiver, and the ball hits his chest, his arms, bounces up. He cradles it in to stop the drive of LSU. 3rd interception for Mark Munford, the sophomore linebacker.
16 seconds to go now. And Turner, they'll give it away to Smith. And Smith windmills his way up the field, and they're just going to run it out now and go to the clubhouse. No, they call timeout. Nebraska had 3 timeouts remaining. I was wondering why they wouldn't go ahead and use one. So the Huskers with the ball, trailing by 3, and here's the LSU campus.
Louisiana State University and Agricultural and Mechanical College. Located in Baton Rouge, the student population is fast approaching 30,000. Undergraduate degrees are offered in 133 areas, with doctoral degrees offered in 49 major fields. An eminent faculty adds to the distinction of the state's comprehensive university. Ongoing research in over 1,000 areas ensures a better tomorrow for all of us. A quality education is the major thrust of the Quest for Quality program at Louisiana State University.
Just 6 seconds as Nebraska called the time to have one more play. It'll probably be just send everybody as deep as you can get them and throw the ball as far as you can and see what happens, because it will not end on a penalty against the defense. 2nd down 3, but that matters. This is the last play. Nothing doing. No, indeed. Michael Brooks took care of that. The looping outside linebacker. In effect, defensive end comes in to make the hit of the tackle. And at halftime, the score is 10-7. LSU leads Nebraska, and here's Tim Brandt now.
All right, Keith, I'm with head coach Bill Arnsparker, and the first thing I want to ask, I know hindsight is always 20/20, but are you second-guessing yourself on taking the points off the board?
No. The mistake I made, I think, was not taking a 5-yard penalty and giving our field goal kicker a better angle. That was my fault. But I didn't do it, so we can't look back. We made some errors that we shouldn't have made. It hurt us when we were not at practice for 5 or 6 weeks. But, we just got to keep working and doing the things we can. And,
It's your philosophy, and I know that you're happy with it. You've been very successful with it. But I want to ask you about your goal line offense. You stay with that one-back scheme. Why don't you have that power blast or tackle play?
Are you coaching now, or you just in there answering me? We do what we try to do best, okay?
All right, Bill. Well, I had to ask him. We asked that question earlier. We'll be back with our halftime activities after this commercial message and a word from your local station. Stay with us.
Us syncopators of progressive riffs have a unique style of jawing.
Howard says jazz musicians talk funny.
And after a gig, I think about with a light beer from Miller.
After playing, Howard enjoys a light beer.
Light is super cool and a breeze on the calories, you dig.
Light is less filling, with 1/3 less calories than their regular beer. And the taste, Howard?
Oh, man, it's Obop Shaban's lay down, break down birdie on the hot side of town.
He likes it.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer. And less.
The personal computer game is heating up.
May I?
Go ahead. The AT&T personal computer is faster, 2 to 3 times faster than the IBM PC. It has a higher resolution screen, too, for better graphics, and runs thousands of business programs. In fact, it's more computer for the money to put your business ahead of the game.
Your move.
The AT&T personal computer. For the dealer nearest you, call 1-800-247-1212.
Friday, Webster's at a special time, 8, 7 Central. And Ben Vereen's back with a little surprise.
What was that?
I didn't hear anything.
Looks like Webster's in the doghouse. Then, the year of the Street Hawk begins at 8:30, 7:30 Central, Friday.
Do your chicken nuggets seem to run out of flavor when you run out of sauce? Then maybe you should
Know your nuggets.
New Kentucky Nuggets from Kentucky Fried Chicken. The only chicken nuggets with the Colonel's secret blend of 11 herbs and spices. For a taste so good, you're gonna love them. With sauce.
Or even without.
New Kentucky Nuggets. Flavor that never runs out.
Know your nuggets. We do chicken bites.
Coming up tonight on Newswatch 7 after the Sugar Bowl, Omaha police investigate the mysterious death of an elderly South Omaha woman. Join us for all the news, weather, and sports after the game.
Crime Stoppers, Tuesday at 5 and 10 on Newswatch 7.
Coming to ABC, 2 all-new nights of mystery and adventure. First, on Thursday at 8, 7 Central.
Is it an animal?
If you have a taste for terror,
Something out there might be eating people.
be sure to catch Wolfen. Parental discretion is advised. Thursday at 8, 7 Central. Then on Friday, one man, one machine. The year of the Street Hawk begins this Friday at 8:30, 7:30 Central.
Well, the nature of the contest is not quite what we had expected, but certainly the character of it is, as LSU leads by only 3 at halftime. And right now, we join Jim Lempley at our studios in New York.
Good evening. Like millions of you across the country, several of us from here at ABC Sports spent the afternoon here in our tape room watching the 3 bowl games which were played on New Year's afternoon. None of them significant in determining the season's hierarchy in college football, rather important as entertainment experiences and memories in the making for fans and followers of the 6 schools involved. If any of the 3 games will be remembered, it will be Doug Flutie's farewell to college football in the Cotton Bowl. For Boston College, it was the first New Year's Day Bowl appearance since the January 1, 1943 Orange Bowl. For Houston, 4th time in the Cotton Bowl since they entered the Southwest Conference 9 years ago. And for most of the first half, it appeared that a Boston College rout was in the offing. This 63-yard touchdown pass from Flutie to Kelvin Martin sent the Eagles on the way to a lead that at one point reached 31-7. But then Boston College began helping Houston back into the game. Among a series of errors, this was the worst. 3rd quarter, Flutie, under pressure, threw the ball up for grabs. Houston safety Audrey McMillan took it back 25 yards, and suddenly it was 31-28. The Boston College lead sliced to 3 points. But then an 8-play drive, 41 yards, all of it on the ground, capped by that touchdown run by Strahan. BC added another touchdown on the ground later. 45-28 victory for the Eagles. Not a day on which the Flutie legend was further enhanced, but in victory, neither can it be diminished. In the Fiesta Bowl, UCLA and Miami played the kind of wild-scoring game which has typified the second half of the season for the Hurricanes. 22-21 UCLA at the half. Then Steve Bono was red hot in the 3rd quarter. And when he completed this touchdown pass to Mike Young on the first play of the 4th period, it was 36-24 UCLA. But Miami came back just as they had in the late season game against Boston College. And again, the hero was freshman running back number 5, Melvin Bratton. First, this 19-yard touchdown run, which narrowed the margin to 36-30. The 2-point conversion failed. Then, one drive later, the Hurricanes scored with less than 3 minutes to go on this pass from Kozar to Bratton. The extra point kick made it 37-36 Miami. But just as against BC, the Hurricanes had scored the go-ahead touchdown too early. Plenty of time left for UCLA to position John Lee for his 3rd field goal of the game. And the Bruins capped a quietly successful season in which by far their biggest hero was the place kicker, Lee. And in the Rose Bowl, a Pac-10 team beat a Big Ten team for the 10th time in 11 years. A touchdown pass from Tim Green to Timmy Ware in the 2nd quarter, second of 2 touchdown passes for Green in the game, gave Southern Cal a 17-3 lead over Ohio State in an error-plagued first half for the Buckeyes. But in the second half, Ohio State came back, largely on the strength of a great receiving performance by freshman Chris Carter. This touchdown pass helped him to break Don Hudson's receiving yardage Rose Bowl record and brought the Buckeyes to within 20-15. 2-point conversion made it 20-17, but Southern Cal held off the remaining Ohio State threats, so the Trojans beat the Buckeyes 20-17. And now let's go back to Keith Jackson in the Louisiana Superdome.
All right, we'll return to the Sugar Bowl here in New Orleans with our halftime score of LSU 10 and Nebraska 7. And we will join the Cornhusker Marching Band. Mr. William L. Ballinger, director of the Husker Marching Band, 270-odd students involved in it, and they're fun to watch. Cornhusker Marching Band. William Ballinger, director, entertaining at halftime here at the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans, the 51st play of this Grand Ole College Football Classic. And LSU leads Nebraska 10-7.
One reason why Duracell batteries deliver such long-lasting power is because we're always improving them. In fact, today's Duracell batteries will last up to 20% longer than the ones we made just 3 years ago. And we'll keep on improving them through rain, snow, sleet, dead of night. Duracell, the copper top battery. When it comes to making them last longer, we never stop.
It has been an incredible year at ABC Sports. In February, we traveled to historic Sarajevo, Yugoslavia for the 14th Winter Olympic Games. It was here American Bill Johnson made his renegade run for the gold. And the perfect couple, Torval and Dean, rewrote skating's record books. In August, the world's athletes descended upon Los Angeles for the games of the 23rd Olympiad. A blazing Carl Lewis, a tenacious Mark Breland, and a courageous Jeff Blatnick helped serve notice that the Olympic spirit was very much alive. From the aerial splendor of Greg Louganis to the captivating vaults of Fireball Mary Lou Retton, these young heroes took the City of Angels by storm. As 1984 is about to fade away, we at ABC Sports are ready to kick off another banner year in 1985. Coming January 20th, you'll see the NFL's premier event, Super Bowl 19, brought to you by the primetime crew that made Monday night viewing a national pastime. As the teams enter the playoffs, we eagerly await the challenge of bringing you football's main event, Super Bowl 19, exclusively on ABC Sports.
Over the past few days, I'm sure all of you have seen at one time or another some comment about having to do with the charges from Booker Brown that Tom Osborne, one time trying to recruit Brown to come to Nebraska, offered him illegal enticements. Well, first of all, the timing was terribly curious for that kind of notarized statement. It came at a particularly bad time, and I asked Tom Osborne yesterday if it was unsettling for his team.
Well, mostly with me. I had a couple tough days personally where I wasn't very happy about things and really didn't understand what was going on. And then I think I got it sorted out. I think I've got a handle on why this all happened. And I guess I've done all that I can. I mean, if you take a polygraph test, which I thought was kind of demeaning to even have to do that, but I thought I had to, and maybe I didn't. And I've given people lists of players that I've recruited over a period of 15 years and invited them to go back and call them. These are players that either went to Nebraska, didn't go, and got a fair track record over the years with the NCAA. So I think if people check it out, hopefully they'll give us a little bit of benefit of the doubt on this thing, and hopefully it's behind us.
Well, you did have your conversation with Trope and Brown, and in that conversation, if I interpret what I read in the local paper correctly, there was the generation of the thing was pressure from Trope so that he could have greater access to Nebraska football players.
Well, evidently, Mike Trope was unhappy with some things I had said to the effect that I didn't want him dealing with our players and advised some of our players not to go with him. And he and Booker Brown are good friends. And, you know, who initiated what, I don't know. And I don't want to cast a lot of aspersions on anybody, but apparently there was some feeling on the part of both of them that, you know, that they were concerned about me. And so I think that's where it came from. And, of course, the whole agent business is a little bit disturbing in college football right now. And I guess that's about all I can say about it right now, Keith, and don't know what direction we'll take later on.
But 12 years later is indeed rather curious timing. Halftime in the Sugar Bowl with the Fighting Tigers of LSU leading the Cornhuskers of Nebraska 10-7. LSU Band is coming up next.
An ABC News Brief brought to you by Legs. Now from Washington, Barry Seraphin.
Good evening. This New Year's Day, President Reagan met with top officials of his administration to plan next week's arms talks with the Soviets. Reports say the U.S. wants separate talks on offensive and defensive weapons. In Moscow, the Kremlin has released a statement saying the new year brings fresh hope for the negotiations. Pope John Paul, in a sharply worded address, has called on both sides to bargain in good faith. Now this.
Legs Pantyhose takes the Rockette right to the top.
Nothing beats a great pair of legs.
In the Midwest, a big storm has dropped up to 19 inches of snow and ice in many areas. Hundreds of holiday travelers were trapped at closed airports. Tonight on Nightline, some New Year's predictions from experts in politics, economics, and sports. That's News Brief. More news later on this ABC station.
This ABC Sports Exclusive is being brought to you by Chevrolet, who invites you to see today's Chevy, drive today's Chevy, live today's Chevy. By light beer from Miller, everything you've always wanted in a beer and less. By AC Delco, General Motors Corporation, quality replacement parts for just about anything that moves. AC Delco, the smart parts. And by Delta Airlines. 36,000 professionals serving more than 100 cities in the United States and overseas. Delta gets you there.
Friday Webster's at a special time, 8/7 Central.
Small dogs are a boy's best friend.
When can we get one?
George and Catherine say no dog. But Ben Vereen's back with a little surprise.
What was that? I didn't hear anything.
Webster's in the doghouse.
I didn't hear that either.
Then, the wait is over. The year of the Street Hawk begins at 8:30, 7:30 Central this Friday.
With their team leading by 3 points at halftime in the Sugar Bowl, the Golden Band from Tigerland is now entertaining out on the floor of the Superdome. A medley from the 1950s. Why, heck, you might even be able to hum these. Frank B. Wicks, director of the bands at LSU. A medley from the 1950s. About 275 students involved in this organization. make their exit to Hey Fightin' Tigers. And the teams are getting ready to come back into the stadium now as the band leaves, and it's 10-7. Go ahead and change.
The Dallas Morning News, 3 a.m. You know this crew gets heartburn, and when they do, there's no time to stop. No wonder so many people take Rolaids, the tablet that gives millions 100% relief. Like a sponge, Rolaids antacid medicine consumes 100% of the acid required to give millions 100% relief. With Rolaids, you can keep going. Rolaids. Rolaids spells 100% relief.
Nissan 85. Now get the tough truck you want at the price you want. Special incentives from Nissan could save you big money, even on Nissan's lowest sticker price truck. That's right, special cash incentives to Datsun dealers that could save you cash on any new Nissan truck. But hurry, this is your last chance, and it ends January 3rd. Get going to your Datsun dealer now before your Nissan truck is gone.
Winner of 6 Emmy Awards, including Best Actress.
I have chosen to destroy you, priest.
4 Golden Globes, including Best Actor.
I have broken all my vows.
And Best Motion Picture Made for Television.
Do you know how terrifying it is, that power you have over me?
The Thornbirds, Sunday.
Sally, Bert, you busy tonight? You're lost. Debbie? Bert? Lori? Bert? Judy? Cindy? Kathy? Buffy?
When you have a lot of local calls to make, it's nice to have a Northwestern Bell calling card.
Hi, Mom. Bert. Bert.
Your Northwestern Bell calling card. Use it for local calls, too.
On the first day after Christmas, my true love gave to me leftover turkey. On the second day after Christmas, my true love gave to me turkey casserole that she made from leftover turkey. On the third
If the holidays are lingering longer than you expected, we have a suggestion. A pan pizza from Pizza Hut with pepperoni, mushrooms, almost any topping except one.
flaming turkey wings. Fa-la-la-la, fa-la-la-la.
A cold night, but the warm-up's coming. Details after the game.
Tim Brandt back at the Sugar Bowl with Tom Osborne, head coach in Nebraska. You got off to a little sluggish start. I know you weren't pleased with that.
Well, we have not played very well, and we don't look very quick, and I really don't know why. You know, we thought we were well prepared, and we thought we were fairly well conditioned, but we look a little bit tired out there, and we're very fortunate to have a 10-7 game right now. We have not played well, and we hope that this half we can be better. We try to be strong, we try to be physical, we try to play the game so we can be the best team in the fourth quarter, and we're hoping that that'll happen today.
All right, good luck the second half,
Thank
Tom.
you.
Back upstairs to you, Keith.
All right, Sam, and a comment now from Frank as to what you feel may happen, or what do you think has to happen in order for, one, LSU to keep leading or Nebraska to get the lead?
Number one, Nebraska has got to find some way to get some pressure applied to the quarterback Wickersham to stop their passing attack. That's the one thing that they look better than Nebraska in one area. And also, Nebraska got to establish their running game. We talked earlier, I think the second half, the running game will pick up, and that's what Tom, I'm sure, will want to believe that he can do is run right at the LSU defense.
Make one comment relative to the play down here where Bill Arnsparger decided to take the 3 points off the board and take the first down and goal at the 6. There was no other decision the man could make. He had to make that decision.
The reason is he was led by 3 points. Another field goal only puts him 6 points. He gets the first down on the 6-yard line. You got to believe and be confident enough to your team that you can take it in from the 6-yard line. They didn't, and that was the reason they'd be second-guessed, I guess.
I guess second-guessing is just part of coaching anyhow, and if your skin is too thin for second-guessing, you ought to get another business in it. And I don't imagine it's going to bother Bill a whole lot. So we're ready to go now with the second half of play.
One of the nice things about the local PCAs is that they are
both sides of the ball. Got a little confused a couple of times, but generally speaking, played well. And here comes Nebraska now with Jeff Smith returning the kickoff. The Huskers had the option to start the second half, and obviously they chose the ball. Here are the highlights out of the first half. First, it was LSU scoring on this play as Wickersham gave the ball to Dalton Hilliard.
Little opening, right, little cross buck on the goal line, held the middle linebacker, and he wasn't able to support. Good blocking by the left side of the LSU line. Then the throwback screen, perfectly executed by the lineman and the quarterback, setting up.
Back to live action for a moment here as Nebraska tries on first down from the 23, gets a couple of yards on the play. Let's go back to the touchdown play.
Beautifully executed screen. Nebraska lineman invited LSU to rush inside, setting up the throwback. Look at the offensive linemen, 4 of them, big fellas right out in front, giving Dubose a little crack, and he accelerated into the end zone.
And it's right now second down and about 7. Sundberg opens at quarterback and a penalty flag. So it looked like Schnitzler was shielded away from following the route that he wanted to go by Kevin Guidry, and immediately brought a flag out. Guidry, however, was the man who went down. Let's see about it.
Guidry collisioned the receiver before the ball arrived. It seemed to me that the official was right on top of it. He's trying to decide whether it's a 15-yard penalty or first down. It's less than 15 yards, so it's the first down right there. We have 2 penalties on pass defense now.
Pass interference. John Hazard, defensive end for LSU, weighs in at 265. Tommy Clapp is the nose guard at 260, a redshirt freshman. Carl Wilson, 250-pound sophomore. Greg Dubraka, linebacker, senior, 220. Inside backer is Sean Burks, 220. Back to the live action. Pitch out to Jeff Smith. Smith around the corner, picks up 6 yards on the carry. Well, they're hustling right along here. Nebraska is starting the second half with the ball at its possession. The secondary, Kevin Guidry is a corner. That man just got flagged. The other corner is Norman Jefferson, 5'11", 175. The strong safety is Jeffrey Dale, 6'4", 210, and Lifford Hobley, the free safety at 6'1", 200. The other linebackers being Sean Burks, Ricky Chapman, and Michael Brooks. Didn't have a chance to show you them. For second down and a short 4 now for Nebraska from their own 42. And the ball inside to Rathman, the fullback, and he's got a first down as far as yardage is concerned, but there's a piece of laundry laying out there colored yellow.
Looked like number 94, Brooks. No, I guess Brooks looked like he stepped across, but he got back and caused motion by the offense. Tough break for Nebraska. Instead of second down and 4, it's going to be second down and 9.
There are 2 I-backs for the Cornhuskers. Smith had 9 carries for 45 yards in the first half, and Doug Dubose, who didn't play all that much, had 8 carries for 45 yards. The offensive unit reflected there. That's the same unit that started the ball game, and the same for the big people up front.
3 All-Americans in that offensive line. Grimminger, Benning, and Trainovich all made at least 1 All-American team.
It's second down and 8.5 or so as Smith tries to get around the corner, and Carl Wilson will have none of it. LSU playing 3-down lineman, and Wilson at 6'5", 250, sophomore out of Baton Rouge, just wrapped those big strong arms around him and slammed him down on the ground.
Look at these stats. The success of the LSU offense. Total yards, 295, and that's not artificial. The LSU offense just out-executed the number 1 defense in the country in that first half. 2 turnovers apiece.
Third down and 6. Sundberg, with the noise plummeting down on him, throws an interception. Jeffrey Dale scoops it right up off the grass. The pass intended for Todd Frayne. They're waving it off. They didn't control it. I thought he had it.
Well, it looked like he did. The ball, officials are claiming, was trapped. Real crossing pattern. Frayne is coming across from the tight end, trying to get in behind the linebacker. You can see how open he is right there. Now the ball is deflected. It goes up. Dale, number 4. No, it hit.
He trapped it.
He trapped it, and it's incomplete. Good call by the pitcher.
Fourth down. Norman Jefferson drops as Scott Livingston comes in to punt. 48 and 37 on his 2 punts today. That's really a high hanger. And a fair catch called by Jefferson up around the 25. With 13-17 to go in the third quarter, and LSU leading 10-7. The Tigers get the ball at their 25.
Says you can't have it all. Who says you can't be somebody and still be you? Who says you can't taste life's mess and not look like you do? Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can.
Michelob Light. Super premium taste in a less filling beer.
Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Have it all.
Boy, it's great to be on vacation.
Yeah, and we never go on vacation without Hertz.
I wouldn't risk my vacation with an unreliable rental-car company.
And Hertz affordable weekly rates save me money.
But people say Hertz is more reliable.
But now, Hertz costs less money.
Arnie, more reliable.
Less money.
Arnold, more reliable.
Less money.
Hertz Affordable Florida, only $79 a week. Now the rent-a-car company that gives you more is less.
Less money.
Boy, they let anybody in this place. These things gotta lighten up.
LSU comes in now with Sammy Martin and Garland Jean-Baptiste as the setbacks. Gary James has hobbled some, and Dalton Hilliard has been rather quiet so far in the game. And here's LSU now with its first possession of the second half. Tigers lead by 3. This is Martin outside. Good speed. And he only had Burke to get by and score himself a 75-yard touchdown, but Dave Burke was able to hold him down.
There is absolutely no substitute for speed. And you can see that Martin has blazing speed. Nebraska compressed their defense. Martin breaks outside. Clark 10 misses. He picks up a good block from Fontenot, who's the best blocking wide receiver that LSU has, giving him extra yardage for the big game.
On the 48 of Nebraska, first down as Wickersham delay, hands it over to Martin, and Martin runs it down to about the 45. And I apologize for the hacking and the sound that's coming through, but I've had my troubles with the Wiggers of winter lately. Bill Weber is the defensive end. Spockman a tackle at 260 for the Huskers. Graver the nose guard, 245. Stuckey, 245-pound, already admitted to the Harvard Graduate School of Business. Scott Strasburger, the other defensive end, 205. Dalma linebacker, Mark is 235, and Mark Munford at 225 pounds. I've been saying, Frank, people asking how the health is. I told them I quit smoking, quit drinking, the next day I almost died.
Keith had a terrible case of the flu. Came close to not being here.
45-yard line, second down and 7.
Keith Campbell, the center, was injured and has been replaced by the backup center.
That being Nacho Albergamo. And here comes Mr. Martin, Sammy Martin, a freshman from New Orleans, 5'11", 185, showing his spurs as he picks up a first down outside the 35. Well, at halftime, it's my understanding that it's a 14-14 ball game between Washington and Oklahoma, and here it's 10-7, LSU leading Nebraska. So these are the two games remaining in the bowl season for 1984 and 85. And that pass was thrown very hard by Wickersham and off the hands of the intended receiver.
LSU's been so impressive in this ball game. Every time, every possession, they made at least one first down. They've moved the ball up and down the field more than any team that Nebraska has faced this year, and had trouble getting in the end zone as Nebraska kind of stiffened a little bit. Nebraska's only made one real serious drive, and they took it in for the touchdown.
They've held their edge in offensive time. Oh, look at this, though. Wickersham tried to force one in the middle, and there was no chance as Chad Dapper, the linebacker, was just standing there, and Jeff Wickersham hit him right on the numbers, and he is intercepted. So the Huskers pick off one at 11:43 to go in the third quarter, trailing by 3 points to LSU.
Nissan 300ZX Turbo. You know the car. But do you know what it's like to drive it? Now you know. Once you get inside a Z will get inside of you.
Come alive, come and drive. Major motion from Nissan.
It's your Datsun dealer.
Technology is taking over the world. You can keep up with it, or you're going to be left behind. That's why I joined the Army.
From microchip circuitry to laser technology, the world's largest school for high-tech skills is the Army.
Bravo, go active. Bravo, locked. 205.
Beat all that you can be.
I don't intend to get left behind.
Find your future in the Army.
Let's have another look at the interception from the end zone view right after this play with 11:43 to go in the third quarter. Nebraska trailing LSU by 3. Doug Dubose is now the I-back on the first down from the 32. And Dubose keeps it. It looked almost as if Sundberg had the option there as he hips the ball back, but he decided to give it away to Dubose.
Let's look and see if Wickersham was screened off by the umpire. The bottom of your screen on the left is the umpire, and it looks like that Wickersham cannot see the defender as he finally looks back over to the right, and the ball goes right over his head. I don't believe that he saw number 40, Dapper, coming in front and intercepting the ball. The umpire has to be there, though. He's got to be somewhere, Keith.
He's part of the equipment. Second down and 6, and into the middle goes Tom Rethman, the fullback, and across the 40 to 41. That leaves him a couple of yards short of the first down.
Nebraska should get some momentum from that interception. LSU took the first possession, was moving for a score, apparently score, and threw for the interception. That should give new life to this Nebraska offense, which has not been as effective as they've been all year long. LSU defense has played very well. Short yardage.
3rd and 2.
Close.
It is close.
According to the spot. LSU defense taking some extreme measures to try to stop this Nebraska offense. Gave him the first down without even a measure. By getting up and crowding the line of scrimmage, it seems like on first down, Keith, that LSU has 10 men lined up within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage to really try to force Nebraska into the weakest part of their offense, the passing game.
Remember that little short slant tight end pass that Nebraska used to use?
Yes.
Go for a mile, wouldn't it?
Now they move, LSU moves back.
Misdirection here with Dubose, the I-back, but he was 7 yards deep, and by the time he took the 2 steps to the right and then came back, the grain had changed.
That's a good way to express, because Norm Jefferson, number 12, and Dubrock, number 44, reacted beautifully and cornered Dubose and really threw him to the ground, and he's kind of limping off a little bit right there. You can see 11 rushes, 52 yards. He's been averaging a little over 100 yards, just under 100 yards, 98 per game.
Gained a yard, second down, 9. Sundberg gets time, throws, pass caught, Swanson, first down for Shane and the Huskers near the 37 of LSU.
Interesting career Craig Sundberg has had. Was recruited, Keith, the same year as Turner Gill. He knew he couldn't beat out Turner Gill. He stayed there, worked and learned. Tom Osmond says he knows more about the offense than any quarterback he's ever coached. He's a native of Lincoln, Nebraska. Swanson, number 17, the wingback, the steer wrestler, state champion, a tough young man, a real solid football player, makes the reception.
From near the 37. Sundberg keeps it. Fumbles it out of bounds. Looked like he might have been thinking about laddering it, but after Dale belted him, it became academic, and it was fumbled out of bounds.
Keith, he was pitching the ball, and they called it a forward. The first time we've seen it called, the lateral to the trailing back was a forward pass beyond the line of scrimmage, and it would be loss of down and a penalty. Some of the things that we talked about during the season, Keith, on option plays where the quarterback pitches late. Let's watch it again.
How can you call it a forward, though?
Because it's beyond the line of scrimmage and the ball goes forward. Now watch.
Watch the hit.
Okay, the hit's right there. Now when he pitches the ball, the official says that it's a forward pass beyond the line, 5-yard penalty from the spot and loss of down. The umpire called it. First time I've seen that call. You know, we talked about it at some other option teams during the season. As we look at Tom Osmond, who's admired and respected as much as any football coach in America.
Second down and 8 now. Sundberg goes outside to Smith, gets a block on the corner, and gets a first down off the 26-yard line of LSU.
Two studs ran together on the option play. Rathman, the fullback, 235, and Dale, the cornerback, number 4. And Rathman got a tie to the right of your screen on the option play. The pitch back to Smith. Watch the block right here. Rathman, number 26, and on 27. I thought he was on Dale. On 27, Gentry gets a tie. Smith goes into the secondary for the first down.
26 of LSU. Sundberg rolls out, throws, pass caught by number 94, Brian Heber. And Heber is inside the 10, first and goal for Nebraska. And as the Huskers move it down the field, some of the red bunting is falling from the sky.
Keith, the counter sweep bootleg is the toughest pass that I have ever tried to defend. I think most coaches would agree. Misdirections pass, tight end across, open, good throw by Sundberg.
First and goal from the 9. Sundberg still got it. Going to keep it now and score. Well, first time that Nebraska has been on top as the Huskers take a 13-10 lead. With a successful conversion here by Klein, they'll go out to a 4-point lead at 8:14 to go in the third quarter. It's good.
If Nebraska repeated the play, it's the counter sweep bootleg where the ref Sundberg is going to roll out, but watch the center, Trainowicz, number 57. He kind of creeps out the line of scrimmage as a personal protector, screens off Dale, and Sundberg makes a great effort and goes in for the touchdown. Now, what set it up? The block on Brooks, number 94. Brooks has containment. Rathman, number 26, 235, wraps his arm around him a little bit. Hard to contain and get out of that. Then his leg trips him, 2 penalties on that, Keith, but he got him down anyway. And Nebraska takes the lead, and we'll be right back.
This is a Curtis Mathis satellite antenna system. It looks like other satellite dishes, and it lets you receive all the great programming like other satellite dishes. But there is a difference. This satellite system is from Curtis Mathis. We'll install it, arrange financing, and we're the only company that backs every part with our exclusive 4-year limited warranty. The Curtis Mathis satellite antenna system. What makes it different is that this piece of the future is from a company you've trusted for years.
America, America's driving over. America's driving to Firestone.
Come on, America. Drive over to Firestone's coast-to-coast clearance. Save up to 30% on a huge selection of Firestone tires, steel-belted radials, all seasons, and more. Save on trusted Master Care service, selected parts up to 30% off, and save $20 on the Firestone Supreme 60 battery. Save America at Firestone now.
Firestone.
U.S. Olympic gymnastic gold medalist featuring Mary Lou Retton and more. Plus Dynamo Mark Breland's second pro bout live on ABC's Wide World of Sports at a new time Saturday.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see now whether or not Tom Osborne was prophetic when he talked about conditioning. Fourth quartering, 8:14 to go in the third. Nebraska on top 14-10. And coming with it, Sammy Martin. He looks like he's going to be a dandy, the freshman from New Orleans.
He's got a burst, and you know, speed that makes everybody else look like they're running in molasses.
Yep.
How many times have we seen in college football where a team looks like they're moving in to score, having success, turn the ball over and miss the momentum, shift over, and Nebraska takes and looks like they're a champion team and moves right down the plays, 9 plays, 6 to 7 yards for a touchdown.
But the history of these two teams, mind you, very close. 21-20 the last time they met, 1983 in the Orange Bowl. Dalton Hilliard and Gary James are in the backfield, and this is Hilliard. And Dalton Gets from the 26 out to about the 28. Wickersham, the quarterback, with James and Hilliards playing sometime. Not a lot. They're not in there. They're not the dominating personalities. Eric Martin and Herman Fontenot are the white people, with Andrews, Harrell, Gore, Campbell, Langford, Smith.
Somewhat surprised that Hilliard and James aren't playing as much. They're playing those other substitute backs more than any time this year.
There's a little flip lob to the right side, and they were trying to break Fontenot on it. And number 90 stepped up in there and took everything away from the play, Scott Strasburger. And if Scott had been looking, it would have been an interception.
Strasburg knew what was coming, Keith. You can tell. Watch him move out to the right. He heard the audible. Number 90 moving out. Of course, he's a 3.8 student in pre-med. It's been given a proposed graduate scholarship. Watch Stroud. He heard the key. You can see him disguise his coverage, and he runs out. He knows it's a pass, but he couldn't get to it. The ball was thrown behind him.
So it's third down and the short 8. Wickersham goes down the middle, throws an interception at midfield. Chad Daffer gets his second of the ball game, and it is the third time that Wickersham has been intercepted.
Daffer is a substitute on situation. He is dropped back, Keith, what, 5, 10? He was back 25 yards. Seldom do you see a linebacker. Number 46, watch it. A little fake, now he turns and he's picking up the tight end. He's shadowing the tight end right there, and he jumps up like a receiver and catches the ball for the interception.
Wickersham's last 5 passes, 2 incompletes and 3 interceptions. Remember, we told you he was a streak passer. Option, Smith. Jeff Smith, the oddback, trying to throw a pass, and he never did get a hold of the thing. And Scott Campbell is down the sidelines all by himself, and Jeff just simply never got a hold of it to throw it downfield.
Campbell was 25 yards, seemed like 20 yards behind every LSU player. There's Daffer, number 46, second interception, setting up the touchdown drive on the last possession and giving Nebraska another chance.
Jeff needs a smaller ball. Smith goes over the right side, and he has a head-on collision with Sean Burks, number 57. And I mean, you could feel it up here. Watch this collision.
This is what we call a perfect tackle and a good run by the ball carriers. The headgears are going to collide right there. The 2 headgears hit head-on. Burks, being the bigger, throws Smith to the ground.
Third down and 7. From the 47. Outside Smith. Caught from behind by Dubrock, 44. And it brings up 4th down as we check in with Tim Brandt.
Keith, the LSU coaches have been talking to Jeff Wickersham. Now, you know, well aware of the fact that he had that big first half. He was reading the defenses extremely well. He was hot. But you also mentioned that he's a streak passer. And the coaches are trying to keep his confidence up because right now, after the last 2 interceptions, he seems like his confidence is really down. They're talking to him just to read the defenses. Be more careful because the line is picking up the blitzes.
Scott Livingston is in the punt now.
Wickersham, to continue on that, has thrown for 30 interceptions, 17 his sophomore year and 13 this year. Now 3 more, 16.
15-yard line, fair catch by Jefferson. LSU's ball. They trail 14-10, 6:03 to play, third quarter. That was a 29-yard punt.
There are lots of ways to communicate over long distances, but with some, you may not be able to reach everywhere you want, anytime you want. And a faraway message may feel far away. But you can always count on AT&T, the only long-distance service that lets you call from anywhere to anywhere with operators standing by. And with AT&T, your calls will sound as close as next door. So why settle for anything less? AT&T, the more you hear, the better we sound.
Reach out and touch someone.
The usual, Myrtle.
Rack a couple, Floyd.
Wow. I just had a V8. Hey, Myrtle, keep the change.
Floyd?
You ought to be cooking in Paris. So long, good buddies.
When you have a V8, you can't help but feel great. V8 juice is a delicious, nutritious blend of 8 vegetables. And V8 has only half the calories of orange juice.
You know, I could have had a V8.
The Year of the Street Hawk begins Friday at 8:30, 7:30 Central.
From the 15, LSU goes to work with quarterback Jeff Wickersham in a bit of a wobble right now. Yesterday, Tom Osborne had this comment about him.
Well, he's been very impressive, what we've seen of him. I think they have a good complementary cast. Their offensive line is good. They're certainly Dalton Hilliard and James are great running backs. They catch the ball well coming out of the backfield. They have good receivers. So we think their skilled players as a whole are probably the best that we've seen this year. And we think Hilliard's the best running back we've seen. So I think our defense will be tested probably more severely than at any time this year.
Right so far. On first down from just outside the 15, Wickersham gives the ball to Hilliard. Whoa, there's a hit. Wacko at about the 16 by Bill Weber. Weber and Strasburger are the defensive ends for Nebraska. They're not very big. They played almost as if they're linebackers, really. And I think that's sort of the function they perform. It look to me like, frankly, they're outside linebackers.
Weber just jumped inside. He's so smart. He's been a starter for 3 years, all Big 8. Outstanding player.
Wickersham back to throw, goes outside to Hilliard. He's got Fontenot to help him a little bit, but not enough as they get him at around the 18-yard line.
The pattern that Wickersham just threw was a confidence builder behind the line, Keith.
One of the great television sports series of all time, the Professional Bowlers Tour, begins its winter season live from Union City, California at 3 Eastern, 2 Central Time this coming Saturday. Seen at 3 o'clock on the West Coast with Chris Schenkel and Nelson Burton Jr.
Long yardage is a blitzing down for Nebraska. Let's see if they come.
3rd and 7. The pass is away intended for Gary James, and it is no good. So Nebraska should get very good field position on this one.
Nebraska defense has adjusted to the passing. 2 interceptions already this half. 3 by Wickersham for the ball game. Ties a Sugar Bowl record by any pass.
Swanson and Smith dropped for Nebraska.
And Nebraska is very effective, Chief, returning punts. 3rd in the nation. Both Swanson and Smith are very dangerous.
Well, it was Swanson's punt return that broke their game open against Oklahoma State.
Score was tied 3-3 when he did it.
Low kick. Can't get to it, and it takes a Nebraska bounce, and contact is finally made by an LSU man up around the 48 on the LSU side of the field. So it's only a 32-yard punt by Clay Parker when they needed a bomb and didn't get it.
Now the LSU defense, the character of their team has really got to come to the top now. Nebraska has the momentum, field position, everything, the lead going their way. Let's see what LSU can do. Look at the turnaround that Wickersham has had. Unbelievable. He is a streak passer. We've known that. The LSU coaches admit that.
DuBose behind Rathbone. And Sundberg, the quarterback, with DuBose the ball. Well, that's good defensive effort there by LSU. They stop him after about a 3-yard pickup. Norman Jefferson leading the tacklers, the cornerback coming up to force in a hurry. But this is Nebraska's best field position for a start of possession in this ballgame.
Normally, most teams, when they start with the ball inside the 50, Keith, will score, put points on the board about 60% of the time. They're in 4-down territory in the first series, and that's one of the main reasons.
Timeout. Sundberg looking around. Either he didn't have the people that he wanted, or LSU was doing something on defense that he had not seen or didn't expect, so he calls timeout. 4:09 to play in the 3rd quarter.
We're Delta, Delta Airlines. We love the things we do. We do them all to please you. Delta Airlines will take you almost anywhere, anytime. Delta gets you there. You work hard to live right guard.
Right Guard Stick will help protect you from odor for up to 24 hours.
You work hard to live right guard.
Gillette Foamy Gel. The gel that gives you more lubricants, better beard setup, more lubricants. For closeness and comfort, get Gillette Foamy Gel. the gel that gives you more.
Tim Brandt back at the Sugar Bowl, and on the Nebraska side of the field, most of the attention right now is going to defensive end Bill Weber. He injured his shoulder on the last defensive series. He calls it a stinger. He hit a nerve. He can't lift his arm, so they're very concerned. He's trying to keep it mobile now. Basically just trying to keep his hands keep down on his sides and on his hips.
They would feel his loss immediately, I would think. Right now, 2nd down and 6 for the Huskers. Here, the LSU 44. That's that delay with Dubose breaking into the secondary and finally hauled down around the 39. He got 5 yards plus on that carry. Just short, however, I think, of his first down. Jeffrey Dale came up and collisioned the play and made the tackle, 6'4", 210. These people who play in the defensive secondary for LSU are all pretty good size, with the exception of Jefferson, 5'11", 175 for Norman. The rest of them are big horses, especially those two safeties.
That's right, Keith. Hobley's All-American as a safety, and Dale has had a fine career as a strong safety.
3rd and 1. DuBose gets his first down. Greg Dubrock dragging him out of bounds.
Harry Grimminger, number 58, the pulling guard, made the key block that let DuBose break into the secondary. These Nebraska linemen are big and strong. They are 4th and 5th year players, but they know this offense. They could run it in their sleep. Tom Osborne has a system. He doesn't deviate from it. Stays with it.
First down at the 32 of LSU. That's Rathman. And Tom, the fullback, to about the 28, where he's greeted by Michael Brooks.
Michael Brooks plays the defensive end. He's all over the field, but Burks, number 57, moved right in and made the play. Here he is, number 57, the junior, the captain, the leader of this defense, the one who really calls the signals, fires them up, tries to make the big play, and he shoots the gap inside, Chief, to make the play. I bet it's the only way he could have done it.
4-yard pickup, 2nd down, 6. Sundberg goes outside, bad pitch to DuBose, but he gets a good bounce and turns it back for a first down. There is, however, a penalty flag.
Keith, I don't know whether we could ever get a shot of it, but Trainowitz, the center, snapped the ball so quickly.
Holding Nebraska.
That he looks all sides, but I think that's a key point that Nebraska has discovered, to let him snap the ball and make his keeper. Watch the center. Watch how quick he gets out ahead of everybody else. See, he's moved. No one else has moved because the defensive men are keying the lineman in front of them, and this gives the center the big advantage, and the reason they've had All-Americans, Remington and now Trainowitz. A fumble on the option play, but the ball bounces right back up to Dubose, but it called back for a penalty.
Well, that fits, I think, somewhat into what Tommy Prothro used to do with his quarterbacks, especially when Gary Beeben was at UCLA for Tommy. He had Beeben swinging a leg as he accepted the ball from center, so that Gary was already moving.
Gave him a jump on everybody else. The Nebraska center, I think, does it purposely.
On 2nd down, and long after the holding call, down the middle, Swanson was wide open, and Sundberg just simply didn't get the ball to him in time. Dale knocked it down, but Dale's action in the play is really inconsequential, because if Sundberg gives Swanson the ball in time, he scores.
Here's what happens. Sundberg aimed it. He's so wide open. He said, I want to put the ball in there with touch. And he slows Swanson down, giving Dale the chance. Something that Sundberg, a 5th-year senior, getting his first chance this year after sitting on the bench behind Turner Gill for 3 years. He just wanted to ease it in there rather than throw it in there.
Cost him a touchdown. 3rd down and long. 3rd down and about 18. Sundberg sets up the throw again, gets it away. The pass is going to be intercepted by number 29, Lifford Hobley. And Hobley is going to come back outside the 20 to the 21.
Penalty
flags all over the place.
Late hitting, it looked like. A little bit of frustration on the Nebraska linemen or the players. Hobley makes his 7th, 8th interception of the season. He's an All-American safety. Started for LSU for 3 years.
Pass was intended for Jim Thompson, but it wasn't anywhere near it.
The ball was poorly thrown by Sundberg. They tried to go back and throw the same pattern that he missed a minute ago, resulting in an interception and a 15-yard penalty tacked onto it. Play action pass right there. Bootleg, counter sweep, plenty of time, but he just throws it right to Hobley. Boom, Hobley's right there. All he had to do was jump up and catch it. And he does. He's an outstanding athlete, a good runner. 4.4 speed. One of the best free safeties in the Southeastern Conference. Let's see what the LSU can capture that momentum, Keith, that Nebraska did after a turnover.
9 flags and 65 yards and penalties on the Huskers. And they give the ball to Hilliard. And Dalton is loose. One thing I like about Dalton Hilliard is when he gets it going, he changes from an east-west runner to a north-south runner. At that time, he wasn't going to mess around juking or anything. I'm just going as far as I can go.
Watch Burke, number 33, miss him right there. Burke had a chance to tackle him for a short gain. Hilliard is a great runner. The run against Notre Dame, 66 yards for a touchdown, was a thing of beauty. Munford takes himself out of the play by shooting the gap. That's the risk that you have on the blitz. If you blitz your linebackers, you take them out of pursuit. If you don't make the play behind the line of scrimmage, the offense gaps you and they're gone with it.
Ball goes to Gary James trying to get outside, and the Huskers string him out, and he can't go anywhere. As Neil Harris finally ran him all the way across the field and out of bounds, maybe a yard.
Once again, the momentum changes, Keith. Nebraska looked like they were going to go ahead 10 points, interception, penalty, and that momentum jumps right on the back of that LSU team, and they come out with a big play. Of course, Dalton Hilliard can make a big play anytime. Kid.
1:52 to play in the third quarter. Nebraska leading 14-10. Second down and still 10 for LSU, just short of the Husker 20. And this is Gary James. And it's first and goal, LSU at the Husker 10.
LSU's running the Nebraska play. Tom Osmond introduced that pull and sweep, counter sweep, low fake. Guard's going to pull. The tackle is going to pull. The wingback came around, and James had a crack. Once again, he splits the defense, and Neil Harris, number 11, makes a great stop. One-on-one tackle in the secondary.
First and goal, and they've got to go 10 yards. Hilliard goes about 3 there. I like that little counter back inside. That's effective.
As we look at Bill Onsberg, he's got to be pleased with this particular drive, the comeback that LSU has made. LSU has been sensational. You joined us from the Orange Bowl. They've been sensational against this Nebraska defense, which was considered by many, including Keith and me, to be the best in America.
Second down and goal from the 7. Hilliard, nice hold for Dalton, and he takes advantage of it as he ambles 5 yards to the 2.
Langford, the pulling guard, opened up the hole, but once again, a little misdirection. Why are they having success? They've got Nebraska on the run. When you got a defensive team on the run, they have a tendency to overreact to the first step of the quarterback. The quarterback moves to the right, the defense moves with him, and then the reverse opens up and makes the big gain.
Hilliard now 73 yards out. Gary James 66 yards in.
Running formation, Keith. Tight ends and a wing back. The regular pro offense right here on the goal line. 2 back, 3
Gary
back.
James is the man that figures to get the ball. He doesn't. Wickersham keeps it, throws it to the corner, and incomplete. Roger McGee was over there, lost his footing, fell out of bounds, caught the ball all right, but after he had stumbled and fallen out of the end zone.
Keith, you called it perfectly. McGee, the wingback, is going to go all the way across. See him going behind the line of scrimmage. No one sees him. He's wide open. All Wickersham's got to do is throw the ball to him. He takes a little bit long. Hits McGee a freshman trip, and he doesn't catch the ball until he has fallen out of bounds. What a tough break for LSU.
Oh, they're going to go for 3.
3rd and 3 call.
That's hard to believe what I just saw.
Well, Wickersham You know, in Tennessee, man that wide open, you throw the ball with a little tissue paper. You lay it out there where he can't drop it. But the freshman tripped over his own feet.
LSU is going to take a 5-yard penalty now to give Ronnie Lewis a little better angle. That's something that Bill Arnsparger said he wished he had done previously from the 19.
Keith, Nebraska can refuse the penalty, I think.
Yes, they can.
And let's see what happens.
Why don't they?
I would refuse it.
You keep that angle just as sharp as you possibly can.
This is what happened earlier. LSU had 3 points on the scoreboard, took them off because of roughing the kicker penalty, came down to 1st and 6 and did not score, had the ball about the 2-yard line, tried a field goal, missed it. Bill Arnsparger said at halftime that he wished he had taken a penalty.
Get out your rule book.
I believe Nebraska could have refused the penalty. I think he refused any penalty.
Kick is up, and he missed it. He missed from 19 yards wide right. Now he has missed from 24 yards wide left. Oh, that's a cruncher. You know that? With 4 seconds to go in the third quarter, he could have pulled LSU within 1 point, and instead he winds up missing it. Now Juan Betanzos may be taking heart. He lost the job of place kicking to Lewis back about mid-season.
LSU had some tough breaks down on the goal line, Steve.
Yeah, but they made them themselves.
Yes, they have.
Mark Breland's second pro fight, part of ABC's Wide World of Sports, coming up this Saturday on ABC at 4:30 Eastern and Pacific, 3:30 Central Time. And the U.S. Olympic Gymnastics people will be seen in competition featuring Fairmont, West Virginia's pride and joy, Mary Lou Retton. Oh, look at the Tigers. Michael Brooks makes another big defensive play as he jumps on Doug Dubose for a loss.
Michael Brooks, number 94, that's his 13th tackle for a loss on the right of your screen. There's a tight end there, but the tight end is blocking to the inside. Grimminger, number 58, is pulling to block him, but Grimminger can't handle him. He couldn't move him out. The speed, the size, the quickness of Michael Brooks tackles him for the loss.
And the third quarter is over, with Nebraska leading 14-10, and we'll be back after this commercial message with a word from our local station.
Presenting beauty in motion, the Dodge Lancer. Its fluid lines are graceful, captivating. Its sleek body glides through the wind. Dodge Lancer, with room, space, and virtually every electronic convenience available. And Lancer has a fuel-injected engine with optional turbocharger, so you'll know what to expect. Great performance.
Thursday at 8, 7 Central. If you have a taste for terror, catch Wolfen. Parental discretion advised. Then on 2020, Tom Jarrell investigates what kept the children silent in the McMartin school child molestings. All starts at 8, 7 Central. Thursday.
Come to the biggest party of the year. It's Mrs. B's 91st birthday party at Nebraska Furniture Mart. Everywhere you look, you'll find specially reduced prices.
I got the picture. Convenience. With Networks, you can deposit or withdraw cash anytime. Wherever I see the blue N? Exactly. Super checking from First Federal Lincoln.
First Federal Lincoln.
At the end of the nearest rainbow.
On this day of football bowl games, add one to the list, the Toilet Bowl from Harlan, Iowa. We'll have that story, and we'll have a Crime Stoppers report for you after the game.
Jeopardy, weeknights at 6 on Channel 7.
Here's your final quarter. Nebraska with the ball, second down and 17. Ball is inside the 15. And here's a draw play with Dubose getting the outside and getting loose, and oh my gosh, he was within a step or so of stopping the big run of the day. Instead, somebody got a hand on him and brought him down, but he did pick up what appears to be a first down. It was Kevin Guidry, I believe, who saved the long run.
Two Nebraska coaches told me something that's very sacred to them, that Dubose, if he keeps his health, may make people forget. Get this, Mike Rozier. They think he has the potential at this time in his career of Heisman Trophy winner Rozier.
From the 31, it's a first down for the Huskers, and Dubose comes again to the 35 for 4. Which one of the bowl games is the biggest surprise to you, Frank?
Keith, I would think the Iowa-Texas game. I just didn't think anybody could score that many points on Texas. But here are the stats for the up through the third quarter. You can see that both teams continue to move the ball. Nebraska kind of won the third quarter, narrowing this lead by LSU, but still LSU has doubled. 405 yards has pretty much doubled the season average made against the Nebraska defense.
Second down and 6. Dubose spins away from the tackler and gets the first down up around the 42.
This is definitely a Dubose series. Great run on the fake pass and run. An option play, the cornerback was not blocked. He spins and makes the big gain, turning what would have been a loss into a first down. That's what great ability can do for a running back like this.
He's got 92 yards in the ball game now.
He rushed for 1,046 for the season.
From the 42, Bush again shakes a leg and pulls out of a tackle. John Hazard had a hand on him, but couldn't hold on to him, and he cuts in there for 3.
Michael Brooks, number 94, prefers to play over the air, not the tight end, but he's over the tackle, Morrow, who weighs 270 pounds, and you can see that Brooks uses his hands until he finds out exactly where the ball carrier is going. Then he separates himself and makes the play.
Second down, call it 8. They've marked him short of the 45. Sundberg throws it out, threw it very hard, but Dubose handled it, and he's got another Nebraska first down. As the Huskers will own it over on the LSU side near the 47.
Outstanding play again by Doug Dubose. What a catch he made, one-handed, Keith. He just jumped up and stopped it with looked like to be his left hand and pulled it down.
Got an LSU man down on the field. Looks like the nose man, Tommy Clapp, the big freshman from Gretna. So a timeout for him.
At Wang, we make computers that not only enhance individual performance, but work in harmony with one another and compatibly with our competitors to bring out the brilliance in all. Wang, we put people in front of computers.
This is Mr. Goodwrench. Did you know that your GM car's engine uses more air than gasoline? For every sip of gas, it takes 15 gulps of air. That's why a clean air filter helps keep you from wasting power or damaging your engine. So let Mr. Goodwrench check your oil, fuel, and air filters. Chances are you'll save gas and money, too.
It's another of Mr. Goodwrench's good ways.
To keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts.
Well, Nebraska started around their 15. And they've been punching right along. Jeff Smith is in there at I-back right now. And it's first down for the Huskers near the 47. Play goes inside with Scott Porter. Porter is a 200-pound senior, fifth-year man, and he moves the ball down near the 43. That's close to 5-yard pickup, 4 yards anyway. There's your attendance, 75,608. That is the smallest crowd of the Sugar Bowl since 1977. But that is a norm for this year, apparently. Because I saw empty seats today in the Cotton Bowl. I know there were empty seats in the Rose Bowl because you could have bought a ticket this morning. Pretty good seat, as a matter of fact. I don't know about the Orange Bowl. Every other bowl that I have seen have had some empty seats. It's Jeff Smith cutting it back to the 40. I don't know whether or not that means we've got empty seats here or whether that is the capacity, because we were told this was a sellout. Last year, however, the crowd was 77,893.
Keith, you can get 82,000. You can crowd 82,000 into the Superdome. They have had that number here for other games.
Who's that they're working on?
I believe it's Dubose. No, it's an LSU player. Yeah.
It's James Dale. Here's the pass thrown out to the right side and caught by Todd Frame, the tight end. And that's on 3rd down and 3. Good enough for a first down. Let's check in with Tim Brent.
Keith, they're working on LSU's strong safety, Jeffrey Dale. In that last series, he took a shot to his ribs. So the only thing they did, they took his shoulder pads off and put a rib protector on him, like a flak jacket. suiting him back up now. He's going back in the game. Even more important than that, on the other side, is DeBose. DeBose has had his sore ankle retaped twice now. He's not only a fine runner, he's a very tough athlete.
But it's hard to cure a sprained ankle playing on the road. DeBose is back in, so let's see how effective the tape job has been. Outside he goes. Not bad. First down inside the 25.
What a cut he made, Keith. Looked like he was going to go outside. I guess Dale, watch Brooks blocking, bending, 6'6", 290 pounds, and blocking on the linebacker. Finally, Brooks releases, tries to get the feet of DuBose. He can't quite do it, but watch the cut right here inside. DuBose just turns and knifes right inside the block of Mara, number 77, for the extra yardage.
Dale made the tackle. First down, and DuBose now on 20 carries for 105 yards.
He's been the difference in this drive. Nebraska hasn't blocked that effectively. DuBose has made the yardage mostly on his own. The great backs make yardage after they run out of blocking. DuBose seems to be able to do that about as well as anybody we've seen all year.
Ball just inside the 25, first down for the Huskers. They lead by 4, 14-10, with 11 minutes to play in the game. Sundberg keeps it. Goes down the middle for Frame, touchdown.
Once again, it was a counter sweep bootleg. I said earlier, in my time, it was the toughest pass to defend against that we ever faced, where they fake the backs in one direction, the quarterback rolls opposite. He picks up the block of the fullback corner right there, and then the center, Trainer Wentz, comes out as a personal protector. You can see the LSU secondary was fooled completely. Green catching the touchdown pass.
Got away from Lifford Hopley, and here's your extra point try. Sundberg puts it down, Klein kicks it, good. And you've got 10 minutes and 54 seconds remaining in this 51st annual Sugar Bowl football game, and the Huskers leading by 11, 21-10.
Why is the bootleg so tough? Because the defensive backs, some of them read it as a play to the right, others read it to the left, and that's exactly what happened. The safety man did not see the ball. Green is open for the touchdown, making the score 21-10. We'll be right back.
Over the years, a lot of small businesses have developed their own systems of communicating.
Yes, sir. Eric, talk to
But
Derek.
now there's a better way. Meet the Merlin system from AT&T. Merlin's a telephone, an intercom, a conference caller, and has dozens of features you can select.
Anderson.
So Merlin can grow as your small business grows. Call about Merlin. AT&T Information Systems, when you've got to be right.
One reason why Duracell batteries deliver such long-lasting power is because we're always improving them. In fact, today's Duracell batteries will last up to 20% longer than the ones we made just 3 years ago. And we'll keep on improving them through rain, snow, sleet, dead of night. Duracell, the copper top battery. When it comes to making them last longer, we never stop.
ABC Sports and the Professional Bowlers Tour. Rolling strikes for its 24th exciting year. Mark it down. The season premiere Saturday at 3 Eastern and Pacific, 2 Central.
Well, there's Todd Frame that just caught the touchdown for an 11-point lead for the Cornhuskers. 10:54 to play in the game. Dalton Hilliard has joined Sammy Martin now as the deep men to accept the kickoff from Nebraska's Klein. At the 1-yard line, Martin. And Sammy's across the 20, out near the 23.
Keith, that last drive was a vintage Nebraska drive featuring their tailback, making the plays on his own, a few little short passes until he faked the secondary out of position, the quarterback that is, opening up the end frame for the touchdown. Typical Nebraska second half march for a touchdown.
Fourth quarter.
Yes. You pound and pound and pound. Your running game gets better.
Here comes Hilliard to the 26. That's a pickup for 4.
This ball game has been very strange. LSU has had the upper hand except on 3 Nebraska drives. They made so much yardage from sideline to sideline, but when they got to the goal line, Keith, they just couldn't stick it in, something they had a problem with all year long. They attempted 27 field goals coming into this game.
Second down, 6. Hilliard.
I believe I'd give it to Hilliard every down. He is exciting.
He really is.
Just like Dubo.
As good as anybody in traffic.
Yes. And he can run sideways. He can just start, go up, and then break to the boundary and just leave you holding nothing but air, the tackle that is. That's Bill Arnsberger. Very quiet, came in without making much fanfare.
Oh, I'll tell you, next year he's going to have a heck of football.
He surely is.
I'll bet you he finds him a big old buster to go on that goal line offense by next year, too. Third down and 2. Wickersham throws another interception.
Why would you throw on 3rd and 2?
On his last 9 attempts, Wickersham has completed 1, 4 incompleted, and now 5 have been intercepted.
Keith, the amazing thing to me is that you would throw on 3rd and 2 with Wickersham having the problem. He goes back and he throws the ball too low. The receiver is open, but the Nebraska defensive man jumps up. Who did you say that was?
That's Strasburger.
Oh, Scott Strasburger, the all-conference end. Walked on, earned a scholarship after the first year. Number 90, holds up the tight end, plays the quarterback. What an athlete. He's fullback in high school.
Reverse, Swanson's got it. Number 17 turns for the goal line. And he gallops from the 34 down to about the 23.
What did Tom Osmond say as we look at Scott? Recipient of the National Football Hall of Fame scholarship, graduate scholarship for his outstanding academic work. And he's a great football player, too. 3-year starter, Keith, on that defensive end position. Cagey, smart.
All at the 23, it's a first down. There's 4 interceptions, incidentally, of Wickersham, a Sugar Bowl record. There goes the fullback, number 36, just pounding Scott Porter. And LSU defense now showing signs of weariness as he gets to the 17.
Most coaches in college would agree that the team that can make the most yardage running the football will win the most football games. Nebraska follows that. 3/4 of their yardage this year has been made running the football.
Second down, 4. Sundberg got framed. There's the touchdown.
That was an audible. Pearson, the cornerback for LSU, was up on the line of scrimmage, and Sundberg, using the experience and knowledge of his defense, watch him run right by, watch Rain run right by number 25. Number 25 is playing cornerback up on the line of scrimmage. That's no way to stop the tight end. You can see it's very easy, like taking candy away from the baby. Second touchdown for Frame tonight. The cornerback, number 25, was right up on the line of scrimmage, within a yard of the line of scrimmage.
Line for the kick. Good. 8:40 to play in the football game, and it's now a 18-point lead, 28-10 Nebraska.
Test pilot Chuck Yeager for AC Delco.
Up here, technology can be fun. Down there, it's a different story. It's where General Motors tests AC Delco parts to make sure they deliver performance and reliability. AC Delco has a full line of parts for most any car or truck, from Delco batteries, Delco shocks, AC fire ring spark plugs, and AC filters. Help your car pass the test. Get the smart parts from AC Delco.
Call 800 AC Delco for a retailer near you.
There's a style in your life no one could ever deny. You're on your way to the top, and along the way you've always known just who you are. Where you're going, you've always known it. Where you're going, it's Michelob.
Where you're going,
It's exceptionally smooth Michelob.
Where you're going, it's Michelob.
With 8:40 to go now, it's gut check time for LSU. 28-10, Nebraska. Remember Tom Osborne's comments when he came out of the locker room at halftime. Their philosophy includes fourth quarter in them. And right now, they're in the process of doing just that.
Keith, the game is 60 minutes long. A boxing match is 15 rounds. You've got to play to the end of the game.
That's a very high kick, and it's quite deep in the end zone, and it should not return it. And they won't. Dalton Hilliard puts it down, the junior, but if that freshman Martin had gotten his hands on the ball, I think he might have come out with it.
He's exciting. He just looks like he's got blazing speed. I don't know what times he's running the 40, but he makes everybody else look like they're pretty much standing still. Turnover, setting up the touchdown. It's tough enough to try to beat a team like Nebraska without turning the ball over to them and giving them scoring opportunities.
This is James looking for some place to run. He just can't find any. Ryan Washington put him on his back. So that was James or Hilliard. It was James, yeah.
Washington was untouched and came in and made a beautiful tackle with a little bit of authority, Keith.
It's second down and 10.
The confidence of Wickersham has to be shaken, not only in him, but in his teammates.
Wickersham having a rough second half is sacked inside the 10. Thrown down by number 96, Jim Scow. Second sack of the ball game.
Give full credit to the Nebraska secondary. All seniors.
Well, that's a provocative question, isn't it? Scare you to death if you really got involved in it.
A lot of us don't know what lies ahead, Chief.
Nightline with Ted Koppel after your late local news. I'm concerned about tomorrow and the day after.
And the Super Bowl.
Wickersham throws it as far as he can. Fontenot is back there and jumped too soon and can't come down with it. If he'd have stayed in contact with the ground, once he got that defender up in the air, then he had a free sail to the goal line. Now watch this.
Fountain now runs right by Burks. Burks should never have gotten in this position. He should have been
should have
deeper.
stopped there. Look, just over his hand.
Jumped too quick. If he kept running one step more before he jumped, it'd have been a touchdown. LSU has not done anything in this fourth quarter but turn the ball over and give Nebraska chances to score.
A Kipling-esque play. If
They got
out of the end zone, Parker to punt it on fourth down and shoots it deep, way back upfield, all the way back to the 37, taken by Jeff Smith. And Smith is cut down at the 45, and their penalty flag.
Nebraska must have 12 men on the field, Keith. I didn't see any other reason for
3, 5, and 5 is 10.
3 is
11.
12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Might have.
Yep. 12 men on the field. They played the down with 12 men, meaning it's a 15-yard penalty. Had one of the men tried to get off the field and didn't play the down, but was still on when the ball was snapped, it's only a 5-yard penalty. So this will be 15 yards, but I don't know whether to give them a first down or not because, no, it won't give them a first down. Will not give LSU a first down.
It's Walden Cager down on the field, hurt for the Tigers.
Unless it's an automatic first down. LSU had 4th and 20. It's a 15-yard penalty if it is 12 men on the field.
Well, the 12 men on the field have been involved in Sugar Bowl history. I remember in 1978, Penn State got caught with 12 men on the field in that classic with Alabama. Remember that?
Now, that's not where that couldn't be the foul.
Players participating on the return team, 15-yard penalty.
Hey,
They can't give them the play. You got to go back and penalize. So help me, Keith, you don't penalize from the basic spot. You go back to the preceding spot. When you play with 12 men, should have given them a 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. I've never seen that happen. Remember the Penn State Nebraska game, Alabama game? Penn State played 12 men.
Well, I remember that Penn State.
They came back and penalized them and gave Alabama a first down and won the ball game.
Yep, that's right.
Here's a very, very interesting stat. Nebraska, 28 points, 387 yards, but LSU only 10 points on 413. The meaning is that Nebraska, when they get to the goal line, they put it inside. LSU couldn't do it.
Sundberg keeps it, flips it out. And carrying is Shane Swanson, running from a wingback position. And Swanson turning upfield, hit the chalk somewhere along there at about where they marked him out, the 42. But that'll be enough for a first down for the Cornhuskers, and your clock now shows 6 minutes and 25 seconds to play in the ball game.
Keith, I'm really interested. I wish Tim Brandt would have a chance to check with officials and see why they didn't penalize them from the line of scrimmage, or whether it's an option. I've never known of it being an option for the other team.
Ball is given to Jeff Smith. First down just beyond the marker. Brought down by Sean Burks, number 57.
Oh, that Nebraska offensive line are really showing their muscle right now. They are blocking the LSU team, sustaining the blocks, giving the ball carriers a chance to break into the secondary.
From the 47 of LSU on first down, Smith to about the 42. Now here's Tim Brandt.
All right, Frank Rose and Keith, I'm down here trying to get a clarification on that last rule. They say it is a post-scrimmage kick. In other words, it doesn't go back to the preceding play. It goes after the kick, mark off the 15 yards from that play. But the key is post-scrimmage play.
I bet him $25 right now. And
You're getting heavy.
And give him 5-to-1 odds that the ball is penalized back at the line of scrimmage.
All right, I'm going to pass that along.
Write it
Tell
down.
him I bet him 5-to-1.
That'll take care of the post-game party right there. Second down and 5. And Sundberg hands it inside to Scott Porter. And I'm either going to Frank's or to his. The ball's inside the 40. You sure Barber knows about all this heavyweight you're doing here?
I don't think I've ever bet on a game in my life, but I know that when I play 12, 13, 14, 15 men, they're going to bring it back and penalize me from the line of scrimmage. They're not going to let me get away with it and give me the ball.
John Hazard is the Tiger down right now on the 40-yard line, that big sophomore defensive lineman. 5:09 to play in the ball game. They've got a timeout for John.
A Mercedes owner with an eye for exceptional cars has just seen one. The Continental Mark 7. He wants to get a better look at it. For now, he must be content with the knowledge that this new Mark gives Mercedes something it hasn't had before. Competition. The Continental Mark 7.
Hey, could I tap some of your computer expertise, son?
So you finally gave in?
Yeah, for starters, how does the disk fit into the disk drive?
Okay, the Army can train you to program, operate, or fix computers.
What does the printer interface do?
It lets the computer talk to the printer.
They talk to each other. What do they say?
And then there's a telephone modem hookup.
And the computer training you get is yours forever.
Like you're not going to be the only computer expert in the family.
U.S. Olympic gymnastic gold medalists featuring Mary Lou Retton and more. Plus Dynamo Mark Freeland's second pro bout live on ABC's Wide World of Sports at a new time Saturday.
Third down and 3 for Nebraska as Schnitzler comes to the bottom of the picture and flanks wide. LSU's got to get a hold of Nebraska now. The Huskers are starting to really roll up the yardage. They do get a hold of the quarterback this time, Sundberg, as he elected to keep instead of optioning down the line because Brooks had shut the door on him. And they've got him on short yardage, and it is 4th down and at least a full 2, maybe 2.5. So the punter Livingston is in. He's kicked 4 times. This will be number 5. His last one was a 29-yarder. LSU's kick returning teams have not been particularly effective tonight. They've got Norman Jefferson back as their punt return man. And he's been pretty quiet. Pressure on, kick is away. It's a bad kick. Shanked it right off the side of his foot under that pressure, and it takes an LSU bounce, and Todd Frayne catches the ball up at the 34. There, LSU will have the ball after a 5-yard punt by Scott Livingston. So they loaded the cannon and sent the shells, and the pressure got to him, and he couldn't deliver it. Well, the Super Bowl is going to be played at Stanford Stadium this time around, and you're going to see it for the first time on ABC. Our coverage beginning at 4 Eastern, 3 Central, 1 Pacific, January 20. 4 teams left in the fight. In the NFC, the Bears and the 49ers. In the AFC, the Steelers and the Dolphins. And back goes Wickersham to throw. He's had a miserable second half. Little short clip out to Gary James. Can't get around and get away from number 84, Brad Smith, who is a junior.
Speed of the Nebraska linebackers reacting to the pass has been nothing short of sensational. Seldom do you see linebackers intercept a lot of passes or make plays like Smith just made on a great runner. It shows that those ends and linebackers are very quick and smart, cagey players.
2nd down and 8 after that 2-yard pickup. Wickersham straight back. Gets it away down the middle, and he had his man. He had Rozier McGee wide open. McGee was absolutely available to him, and he just simply missed it. Miserable second half for Wickersham. He's 1 out of 10. He's had 4 intercepted.
The Nebraska defense are now playing pass. It makes it very tough for Wickersham to throw the ball down the middle. Those linebackers getting back. He was afraid he would throw the ball into the linebackers again. He overthrew it high. Something you never do is overthrow one of those middle zone passes. It should be intercepted.
It's 3rd and 8. That one's thrown short of the first down. He picked out the one man who was short of the first down marker, Sammy Martin, and hit him right on the numbers. The ball was just outside the 40. Here's Tim.
All right, Keith, you and Frank are getting serious about this rule, so I went after Al Granning of the SEC. He's the alternate here tonight, one of the officials. 12 men on the field. Now, doesn't go back to the preceding play?
Tim, 12 men, all of whom participate, is a foul at the snap as well as all the way through the plate. It's considered all the way through the plate. So the offended team has an option of taking it at the previous spot, in which case it might have given them a first down. It didn't in this case, or at the succeeding spot, the end of the play.
All right, Al.
What they chose.
Thank you very much. And Frank, I want to know if I can get in on that 25.
Yeah, the bet was he had the choice of coming back and taking it to the line of scrimmage. You can't play 12 men and not have a choice of taking the penalty.
He's trying to cop out now, Tim.
No, I'm not.
I know he is. We've got him.
Besides, Granning is he's a former Georgia Techer, right?
Yes, Chick Granning.
Chick Dinner. He's still debating it. Nebraska's taken over the ball. As you saw that last pass go awry, and Travis Turner is in at quarterback now for the Cornhuskers, and all they have to do is just simply run out the clock, with the clock showing 2:50 and Nebraska leading by 18 points. To give you an idea of how this ball game turned, and you've got an LSU man hurt, the game turned if in the form of a single person, the quarterback for LSU, Wickersham. In the first half, he was 17 out of 25 with 1 interception. In the second half, he was 3 out of 13 for 10 yards and 3 interceptions.
Halogen, a light so bright, so white, no ordinary light can match it. Introducing the Energizer Halogen Flashlight, up to 300% more light than ordinary flashlights. And it's Energizer Rugged, even waterproof. The Energizer Halogen Flashlight, so bright, so incredibly bright, it outshines ordinary flashlights. Up to 300% brighter. New from Energizer. Those nuggets some hamburger places serve are actually processed chicken.
Excuse me, but what was that in there?
It's chicken.
Chicken.
Processed.
Processed?
That's like when they take a lot of chickens and assemble the respective parts.
What parts?
What parts?
Different parts.
Parts is parts.
Wendy's chicken sandwich is pure boneless breast of chicken, moist and perfect and not processed.
As I hear tell, all the parts are crammed into one big part.
Fused.
Yeah, then the one big part is cut up into little pieces parts. And parts is parts.
Pure boneless breast of chicken for Wendy's kind of people.
There's your time, 2:44 remaining, where it is 2nd down and 7, Nebraska's ball on the LSU 38-yard line. That's an amazing turnaround for Wickersham, isn't it?
And you got to give some credit, obviously a lot of credit, to the Nebraska defense and the coaches, the adjustment they made at halftime. How they came back and just poured it on.
Turner keeping, throws down the middle, and the pass is caught by number 92, tight end Don Bourne.
Got a few linemen downfield, Keith.
And the penalty flag is going to wipe it out.
Watch Brooks, number 94, once again show and display what a great athlete he is. Why the LSU people are so high on him. He plays off the blocker and then comes in and jumps right up in the face of Turner, the quarterback. Lineman downfield, lost him down. No, it's not lost him down, excuse me. Five-yard penalty now. Used to be 15, Keith.
Ineligible receiver downfield on the offense. That's a loss of down, third down.
Changed it from 15 to 5 and made it a loss of down.
3rd down and 13. Japanese broadcasters sending this game back to their homeland. Here comes Turner on an option. Fakes it, keeps it, now drops it. And it's picked up by number 24, Keith Jones. Jones is a freshman out of Omaha. And he can't get around the corner as LSU's defense, led by Michael Brooks, takes him into the sidelines.
What we've seen tonight by this Nebraska football team started slow. LSU with a sideways offense, throwing and completing those short passes, kept them off balance. But Keith, as we've said many times, the defense adjusts to that passing game. They make those adjustments, get familiar with the offense, get a little bit better break on the quarterback, resulting in those interceptions and turning the game around.
Minute and 40 to play in the game now. And Turner gives it to Jones again. And Jones is caught at about the 37. Sundberg has been voted the MVP, the most valuable player, the quarterback for Nebraska. 10 out of 15, 143, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, plus 1 running. So the MVP is Craig Sundberg, quarterback for Nebraska.
I like that, Keith. Craig Sundberg came to Nebraska same time that Turner Gill did. Sat on the bench for 3 years, redshirted. Finally, his 5th year, has had a chance to come in and play. It's only fitting that he was voted the outstanding player.
Nebraska running out 4 downs there, and they don't get the first down on the 4th down. So here comes LSU now with Doug Powell in at quarterback. Throws it deep, and on his first pass of the ball game, it is intercepted by number 45, Chris Carr. Well, it works as good as a kick anyway. The ball is intercepted, and Nebraska will possess it just outside its own 20.
Is that the 5th or 6th interception by Nebraska? Anyway, that sets the record. 3 was the record for any Sugar Bowl game in 51 Sugar Bowls.
I think it's 5.
5 interceptions is a new record. Greg Sundberg from Lincoln, Nebraska.
6 turnovers total. They fumbled it away 1 time. 1:25 to go in the game. Now a matter of running out the clock. I think the outcome of this one is academic. Here comes number 23 around the corner, Roger Lindstrom. As both coaches now are trying to give everybody a chance to say I played in the 51st Sugar Bowl. This ABC Sports exclusive brought to you by LA from Anheuser-Busch, a whole new brand of beer enjoyment. By AT&T, the more you hear, the better we sound. By Mr. Goodwrench and General Motors Parts, who help you keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts. And by U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start. Not a bad place to finish either. Here comes number 24, Keith Jones. I think you're going to hear something from him, too, before he's through, because he does possess a great deal of speed.
He's just a freshman, too. Played some of the year this season on the freshman team before the injuries to Miles, the second-string halfback, and he brought him up.
The executive producer of ABC Sports, Ron Arledge, coverage of the 51st Sugar Bowl game, produced by Chuck Howard, directed by Andy Sedaris, our technical director, John Allen, associate director, John McGinnis, our technical manager, Bob Armbruster, unit manager, Jonathan Lease, and assistant to the producer, David Marr. And this could be the last, no, won't be the last play of the game, as Swanson carries the ball. So they give Shane Swanson a few chances tonight to stick his head in the middle of the melee and do some ball carrying. Our stats by Dave Burnson and our spot.